Sell-off for global markets. President Trump is threatening more tariffs on China after Beijing retaliated.
President Trump says an additional 50% tariff will be imposed on Chinese goods starting Wednesday if Beijing does not withdraw, a 34% tariff increase on U.S. goods by tomorrow. China slapped that charge on American products in response to President Trump's widespread tariff announcement last week. In a social media post, the president also says all talks with China will be terminated, but negotiations with other countries will take place immediately.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House, which is also dismissing reports of a possible pause on tariffs. Right now, the Dow is down about 500 points, dropping under 38K. The administration wins around in the legal fight over the Elon Musk-led government efficiency cuts. A federal appeals court just restoring Doge team access to data from the Treasury, Education, and Personnel Management offices. The vote was split 2-1 to lift a stay imposed by a federal judge in Maryland. At this hour, President Trump welcomes Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu to the White House. They're set to discuss tariffs and the renewed fight in Gaza, where Israeli officials blame Hamas for civilian deaths. Hundreds of roads remain closed in Kentucky after days of heavy rain and deadly storms in parts of the South and Midwest, with rivers still rising in some areas.
This event is not over until the waters have receded, until the areas that have flooded are fully dry, until we don't have saturated ground that could create mudslides over roads and bridges.
Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear among the areas evacuated: the Augusta National Golf Club in Georgia, where today's practice rounds for the Masters have been canceled. America is listening to Fox News.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-298-9383. 800-298-9383.
Don't get suckered into the same old free phone game by Big Wireless. There is a better way. Pure Talk, my sponsor, my wireless company, has a better offer. A brand new free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan for $35 a month. You get unlimited talk, unlimited text, 15 gigs of data, all on America's most dependable 5G network. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Pure Talk for your free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan. Pure Talk, wireless by Americans for Americans.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Sunshine in control all afternoon as our days continue to get a little bit longer, but it's on the windy side. Certainly cool for this time of year. 59 for the high. Tonight, clear, cold, a light freeze towards morning. 29-30 for the overnight low. On Tuesday, sunny and cool, 55. Wednesday, clouds move back in. Some showers developing late day and into the night. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
We are here another year, 2025, and time to be planning and scheduling your air conditioning startups to make sure you're getting ready to go this summer and got nice proper cooling and no worries on if your air conditioner is going to make it through the summer. So give us a call. Early bird gets the worm. This is one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. the easiest of numbers, and that number is 314-293-2600. Again, if this is a little early for you, save this number in your phone then in case you do need me or you do forget to have your system checked, and it does break down on you this summer. That number, save it, is 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
If you're the victim of a car accident or suffered a work injury in St. Louis, you want attorneys who live here and work here to handle your case. You want someone who knows St. Louis and is about St. Louis. You want Kaufman Townsley. Call 314-500-5000.
The American Cancer Society St. Louis Golf Classic is taking place on May 5th at the Boone Valley Golf Club, St. Louis's premier charity golf event to raise funds to support the American Cancer Society's mission of ending cancer as we know it for everyone. Visit stlouis.acsgolf.org to learn more.
Whether you're shaping up a small yard or tackling serious acreage, Steel walk-behind, zero-turn, and stand-on mowers are built to get the job done. Shop online or at your local Steel dealer. Steel, let's go mow.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Well, I know that you're thinking that we're going to start the show today with some sort of, oh, the sky is falling, or, oh, the sky isn't falling. But that's not what I'm going to start it for. I'm going to give you a little happy afternoon dose of classic Donald Trump, who just welcomed the world champion Dodgers, the 2024 Dodgers, to the White House. And he's got Tommy Edman right over Donald Trump's left shoulder. And he's welcoming everybody into the room. All the Dodgers lined up. They're all smiles, if you ask me.
Congratulations, Brian. And others. We have a couple of senators here. I just don't particularly like them, so I won't introduce. Over the course of this amazing season, the members of this team... I didn't think it was that big a deal, actually. Washington. Over the course of this amazing season, the members of this...
And then he just goes on. That's it. He didn't announce him. He said, I'm not going to announce them, and then he didn't. Do you know, Ryan, who the senators from California are?
Ooh, Adam Schiff.
Ooh.
And...
Alex Padilla. I had to look that one up.
I was going to say Dianne Feinstein. Oh, wait.
Possibly.
She's dead. So
wow, you're on a roll this morning. Good grief. Ryan is in super rare form today. Please don't take anything he says and apply it to my career. Just leave it on Ryan.
Oh, yeah, I'll take it.
So for Trump to have to, like, I bet you Adam Schiff, as soon as he realized that he was going to get to be a part of the kind of delegation to the world champion Los Angeles Dodgers in the White House, oh, Trump's going to have to announce my name and blah, blah, blah. Because, you know, they all get their jollies when they are put into a position where one of their political arch nemesis in a situation like that are going to have to do the dignified, complimentary thing in front of everyone. And Trump was like, nope. And Adam Schiff, I bet he pooped his pants.
I like that Trump realized halfway through the laughing that the joke had landed way better than he thought it would.
You think so?
He had to pause and be like, all right, that one went really well. Guess I'll just allow it.
That's not what he said. He said, I thought that would go better. He said it's
Oh,
Washington.
did he?
Yeah.
Because the way he acted like he was ready to move on, and the crowd was not.
I don't think that's what happened. I think that he said what he said, and there are probably people in the audience who liked it, but that there were probably people in the audience who didn't give him what he wanted. Anyway, the video is on YouTube or on X. I'm going to retweet it right now. So if you want to watch it for yourself and see some of the reactions, you can go to @AnnieFryShow on X and take that in. Now, of course, this morning already, leading up to this point in time at 12:10 p.m., the stock market has had a wild ride. I think it was down about 1,600 points at one point, and then there were rumors that there was going to be a 90-day pause on tariffs, and the stock market immediately rallied big. I think it got, 600-800 points in the green, and then the White House was like, that's a rumor. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. And so now we sit at about down 2.2% on the Dow. If you want to take anything away from this, from what I'm surmising, listening to what people are saying out there, experts are saying out there, people who were spooked by Liberation Day and the tariffs that have been put in place, the second that those tariffs were looking like they were going to be, there was going to be a pause of some kind, everybody was like, bye, and we shot north. So what's going to happen? I don't know. I certainly wouldn't pretend to be able to explain it to you, but we've got a few people coming on the show today. Stuart Rosenmblum, my friend, somebody who I talk to regularly about the way the economy is working, what the government's trying to do to, manipulate. I don't say manipulate in a pejorative way, but the federal government, the Federal Reserve, they're always trying to exact some sort of outcome with the economy, the way they move rates, the way that they are reacting to inflation. They're trying to affect outcomes, and sometimes it seems like no matter how much they affect them, they take risks and they don't pay off. Where are we right now? I heard last week, I think it was Thursday, from Stewie that mortgage rates had plummeted, and if you had gotten a mortgage in the last 3 years, it would be a wonderful time to reach out to him and talk to him about a mortgage refinance. And I was like, he was kind of explaining this stuff to me, and I'm like, would you please come on and explain this stuff to my audience, to the listeners out there? Because I think that these are the questions people are asking themselves. Mortgage rates goes down, that's good for the American consumer. And gas prices, or oil prices, I should say, coming down, you would think that would, in time, and I don't even know what the cycle is, that would eventually be beneficial in a cost basis for the consumer. But when you see oil prices come down below 60, it's not like you go to the gas station the next day and those gas prices are going to be under $2 because that gas that was purchased at a higher price.
Yeah, it's the futures.
So panic over the weekend, major markets across the world opening down, very down, and having rough days. And again, I go back to the point that Donald Trump said, this is what's going to happen. He never presented it in a way that this was going to be easy, smooth sailing the whole time. But you have to really understand how much of a long game Trump is trying to play here. And, if you're like me and you have some understanding of the economy, but you're no expert, there's a lot of trust that you're putting into him. And honestly, that's probably why you voted for him. Because you trust him as a businessman, as somebody who literally wrote the book on the art of the deal. You trust him to be able to think these economic thoughts, surround himself with the experts that are going to be able to get us away from the status quo, which is just perpetual growing debt, perpetual irresponsible spending, and constantly, this is the thing that has been the most interesting to me that I keep trying to suck in and learn as much as I can about. If your case against Donald Trump for the last year, 4 years, 8 years, whatever it might be, has been that all Donald Trump cares about is his billionaire friends, make sure you're paying attention to this moment in time. Because Elon Musk, I saw the list of how much money the top 10 or 15 or 20 richest people in the United States, how much money they've lost. I can't even imagine the amount of money that they just lost.
It's the kind of money that you really can't wrap your mind around because you've never seen that kind of money before. It's a lot.
And those are the millionaires and billionaire friends of Donald Trump. Here's Donald Trump speaking on Air Force One about the market.
You say, did you agree to lowering tariffs for any of the countries that you spoke to today? So
what you understand, Jennifer, you have to understand this. We have massive surplus countries that we're dealing with. We have massive deficits. We've got to straighten that out because you can't continue to be that way. It's been that way for years now, and it can't go on any longer. And we're the piggy bank. We have all the advantages. Forget markets for a second. We have all the advantages. We're going to straighten out. We're going to become a wealthy nation again. Wealthy like never before. And we're not going to let other nations that have been ripping us off, whether it's China or the European Union, with all of the European nations that have just made it's been like a feast. Look, the European Union was formed for one reason. You know what that was? To rip off the United States. So put that in your bonnet.
Put that in your bonnet. I've heard put that in your pipe and smoke it. So, he's addressing these issues. And of course, there's this kind of top shelf thing that people are continuing to ask is like, when are you going to pause the tariffs? Like, when are you going to bail on this plan? I don't think he's going to bail, but it certainly isn't going to be on like day 4.
Yeah, it's not going to be like, oh man, the market went down a little bit.
We haven't even had an anniversary of Liberation Day yet.
Yeah.
It hasn't even been a week.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah. So what is it that's going to happen here? Well, I want to play this clip with Treasury Secretary Besson. He's speaking with Tucker Carlson about the money spread right now. And like I was saying, Donald Trump, all his economic policies are only there to help his millionaire and billionaire friends.
The people who are hoping that yesterday's move will lead to a demonstrably brighter future within 4 years. Is it your sincere prediction that within 4 years we'll say, actually, that kind of worked?
I believe that it's going to work. And I know that what we were doing wasn't working.
Yes.
So I think we have to try this, and I have a high confidence ratio it's going to work. And I have a very high confidence ratio. The good news is we have President Trump's previous term when everyone said none of this was going to work. The China tariffs are going to do this, they're going to cause inflation. They didn't. This is going to happen to working class. It's going to be bad for working class Americans. Well, guess what? Working class Americans, the hourly workers did better than supervisory workers. The bottom 50% of households, their net worth increased faster than the top 10% of households. And look, I'm not happy with what's going on in the market today, but the distribution of equities across households, the top 10% of Americans own 88% of equities, 88% of the stock market. The next 40% owns 12% of the stock market. The bottom 50 has debt. They have credit card bills. They rent their homes. They have auto loans, and we've got to give them some relief. That I was struck by the statistic from last year.
That's the message right there. Just
Tucker Carlson really nailing it. You like what you hear?
I've heard that from a lot of people this weekend. That clip has gone around and is the message.
When you consider that in those statistics right there, that 50% of the people have debt, and you're like, everyone's like, whoa, my 401k. Okay, I have a 401k. I did look at it. I know you weren't supposed to, but I'm like, I need to know why people say don't look at it. How bad is this? Because in my mind, I always think I'm imagining this is going to be, I'm going to look at it, it's going to be way worse than I'm imagining. But I can't know unless I look at this stupid thing. And I'm 40, so I haven't had amassed, it's growing, of course. It's grown significantly over the time that I've been saving. But I don't know what it's like to go through these things. So I need to learn. I need to be educated. And I looked and I was like, it was not down as much as I thought it was. But usually, like the big thing is in my mind, I'll think to myself, okay, before it loads, what's a scary number? And then I get that number in my head. And then if the number is down less than that, I think, okay, well, that wasn't as bad. If it's over, I'm like, holy smokes. The amount of imbalance that we have, like this is a very, I thought, progressive leftist way of approaching the economy, which is talking about Main Street, which is talking about blue collar workers. It's talking about people who, aren't all consumed in the stock market. I mean, truly, the stock market does not mean a lot to many workers directly. But of course, indirectly, it can mean a great deal to those people. They're not disconnected to it, but it's not the be-all, end-all of if they get up and they see that the markets are open and they're down 1,600 points. They're not. There's a lot of Americans who are not in immediate panic.
That's really important context. Because like you said, it's not as if the stock market isn't going to affect everybody. If companies go under and you get products from that company, that's going to affect you. But that's not happening, at least right now. And if 50% of the U.S. population has no stake in the market, that's enormous. And conversely, if 8% of the U.S. population owns, 85% or 90% of the market, then it really is a transfer of wealth he's talking about here.
Which is such a leftist thing.
It
We've heard it
is.
so many times. I want to play this one more clip, kind of to transition us after the break when Stewie comes in to talk to us about what he's seeing, somebody who's watching all of this stuff happen very carefully. Here's more from Treasury Secretary
Kristen, what I
Bessent.
like is data. And if we look at data from President Trump's first term, and there's a big study that just came out from a group of economists, mostly at MIT, that showed that a 20% tariff on China led to a 0.7% tax or price level increase over 4 years. I think that's pretty good. If we can take in 20% in tariffs and it's a 0.7% increase. And Kristen, the little publicized story this week, everyone wants to look at the stock market going down. You know what else went down? Oil prices went down almost 15% in 2 days, which impacts working Americans much more than the stock market does. Interest rates hit their low for the year, so I'm expecting the mortgage applications to pick up.
Well, just to be very clear, though, I mean, during President Trump's first terms, the cost to Americans was nearly $80 billion in new taxes due to his tariffs. Prices did go up on everything from washing machines to tires.
Well, no, but let's go back. The aggregate number was 0.7, so we can discern the individual things. Also, households saw real net wages go up. So if wages go up faster than prices, which is not what happened over the past 4 years, that's why the bottom 50% got eviscerated.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent talking there with Christian Welker. So we're going to cover this throughout the course of the day. We're going to talk about other things as well. But we know that this was the big question. I kept seeing on X last night, Black Monday, ? Black Monday, ? You're going to reach out to us on the Annie Fry YouTube channel and talk to us about what your reactions are right now in this moment. And we're looking right now, and it looks like the Dow is down 1.28%, a little under 500 points. So that doesn't look like Black Monday territory to me at this point, but Lord knows what will happen by the end of the day. We're going to get experts in here to talk to you. We're hoping to connect to Steve Moore at 105. He is always in high demand, especially on days like today, so he might get scooped up from us. But we're going to talk to Steve Moore, hopefully, at 105 as per the usual Monday slot, and then Stewie is going to be in with us next. So your guy and my guy, when it comes to the markets and mortgage rates and all of that, he's an expert, and I like to lean on the experts. Stewie in studio with us next.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Tammy Didamore and the Didamore Group want to invite you to connect with them. It can be a simple conversation to start. Of course, it doesn't have to be you're not reaching out to them and you're signing a contract with a phone call at all. You should be able to interview the person who you want to list your home with, and you should make sure that that partnership is going to be a successful one for both of you. And I encourage you to call 618-531-4652, 618-531-4652, and talk to the Didamore Group team. Reach out to Zach, Pat, Abby, and Trisha, and Tammy. They're ready to take your phone call. And even on a long-term basis, you're thinking about selling down the line, you're thinking about the markets right now, and you're like, oh my gosh, does this mean mortgage rates are going to drop and people are going to be flooding the market to list homes? Do I need to jump in right now? Is my house ready to list? Are there things that I need to fix up? Are there things I shouldn't waste money fixing up? The Didamore Group can answer all of these questions for you and give you a real, true, honest picture of what you can expect and help you do it in a timely fashion. 618-531-4652. 618-531-4652. The number one team and the number one office in the Metro East, able to help you on both sides of the river. TheDidamoregroup.com.
Experience the exhilarating atmosphere of a Cardinals game. Join the sea of red in the wave around the stadium. Feel the rush of excitement as a home run lights up the sky with fireworks, bringing the whole ballpark to their feet. Nothing beats the thrill of watching the Cards get the W with the final out at the plate. It's more than a game, it's an experience. Visit Cardinals.com for tickets and info. St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Game tickets? Check.
A round of cold beers? Check.
Ballpark hot dogs? Check.
Baseball is back, and nothing beats a night out with the guys.
Or ladies.
At a Cardinals game.
From thrilling games and mouthwatering eats to the iconic ballpark energy, Busch Stadium is the ultimate spot for you and your crew to dive into America's favorite pastime.
Make your next night out the best one yet. Join us at Busch Stadium, where every hour is happy.
For tickets, visit Cardinals.com.
St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Setting goals for your retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals is another.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
For tips on building a better nest egg, listen to the All Financial Hour with Steve All, Saturday mornings at 6, here on 97.1 FM Talk.
You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter. They're the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. Call 314-499-2020. That's 499-2020 or GeneratorSuperCenterofSt.Louis.com. That's GeneratorSuperCenterofSt.Louis.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
The Foley Foundation works tirelessly to bring American hostages home. Kim St. here. We're raising awareness about the Foley Foundation's mission to reunite families, hold captors accountable, and prevent future hostage taking. Visit 971talk.com/events to learn more.
If you ever find yourself stuck in the middle of the sea, I'll sail the world to find you.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Lost in the dark and you can't see, I'll be the light to guide you.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
When we are called to help our friends in need, you can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah.
The first rule, particularly for the smaller investors out there, you can't lose money unless you sell. And right now, the smart strategy is not to panic, just stay in, because we are going to have the biggest boom in the stock market we've ever seen under the Trump policies. We will find a bottom in this market quickly. We will hit 50,000 on the Dow easily by the end of this term. The first rule.
So there's Peter Navarro talking about what people need to think about right now in this moment where everybody is a little nervous watching the stock market. I don't think today right now is as bad as people thought it was going to be. Certainly if you're watching the open of the stock market, you're like, oh boy, here we go. We've got a guest in here who is much, much, much smarter when it comes to economics than I do. And Stewie can vouch for me that I will every once in a while be like, what is happening? Explain it to me like I'm 10. Stuart Rosenmblum from Stuart's American Mortgage, of course, a wonderful partner of our show. I've refinanced my mortgage with him twice, and we're so lucky to have him as a partner on the show. You also are watching all of this stuff, and I just want to open the doors to you, Stewie. What is your mood right now watching Donald Trump do what he told us in his campaign before people voted for him that he was going to do?
I think that Donald Trump is a master chess player. I think he's playing chess. I think he knows what the rest of the world is in panic. I think here in our country, we're in a little bit of a panic, but, we're a very knee-jerk, reactive society.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden you hear tariffs, the markets drop like crazy. Personally, I went into the market Thursday, Friday, even today. I think it's a great buying opportunity. If you look historically, these big drops, they rebound pretty quickly. It's just that, everyone gets nervous and they panic. And I think it's a situation that's uncalled for. And this is the way it's been in our country since day one, is we don't remember. We don't look historically at what's going on. And we have to remember we have a very smart business president, and he's going to play chess, and he's going to do what's best for this country. He has after 4 years, he's not going to be a person probably that's going to be president of the United States. We have 2-term limits right now. He wants to be able to make this country the best that it can. I think he's doing things to make things happen. Wages are going to go up. Trade, I think other countries, there's even some, I read this morning, the European Union is talking about negotiating some kind of zero trade tariff. He wants to balance the trade deficits, and I think it's a smart way to go. I'm not Donald Trump, but I think he's a chess player.
So, Stewie, you and I have talked about, I think we've talked about it on the show before, but your business is in mortgage rates, and you helped me refinance twice with a bagel loan where I didn't have to pay any money to do this, to go through the process of refinancing. And I've got one of those rates that's in the 2s because you were like, Annie, do this now. And I was like, yes, sir. So I'm very glad that I did it. We have talked on the air since then, when you've come in to talk more about mortgages and stuff, that if we get to the place where we see mortgage rates in the 2s again, something calamitous will have happened had to have happened to get rates to come back down that much. But they've also been super high here recently. It always feels like somebody in the federal government's trying to put their finger on the lever to try to balance everything out and get it right where they want it to be right now. What are you noticing in the mortgage industry about rates? Is there a reaction there?
Well, let's put in the trade, the tariffs, all right, into this perspective, okay? One of the things that President Trump wants to do is lower the interest rates. Federal Chief Powell, who's meeting today, was not very, he says inflation is not going to where we want. We're not going to lower the interest rates. It's questionable. Is it political? It's not political. But he wasn't prepared to do it. So I think that President Trump came and said, you know what, if you're not going to do it, I'm going to make you do it. And part of these tariffs are forcing the Federal Reserve to reconsider and go ahead and cut those rates. And I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to do it as many as 4 or 5 times this year. Originally, it was speculated 1 or 2. I had said before 3. Now I'm thinking 4 or 5. So the Federal Reserve is going to cut those rates, bring those interest rates down, and it's a great opportunity. If anybody has financed over the last 3 years, you should refinance right now. With the bagel loan, no closing costs. If rates go down later, you can do it again. It doesn't cost you anything. So I think what's happening right now is the rates are starting to drop. People are seeing them go down long term. But if the market rebounds, the stock market rebounds, you can see the rates creep back up a little bit for a term. So you have to take advantage of the opportunity when it comes about. And right this minute is that opportunity. If you're an existing customer of ours, we've already called you. We locked 30, 40 loans on Friday.
Wow.
So which in our industry is a lot. So you want to be a customer of ours if you want us to monitor. If you're not a customer of ours, call us, refinance for free, get rid of the PMI, get a lower rate, improve your cash flow, whatever it is, grab it while you can, because next week it can change.
So how much does the tariff implementation, is its effect on the mortgage industry just simply like how the markets are going, if the rates get lowered? If Donald Trump has great success, if Donald Trump's tariff plan works exactly how he expects it to work out, what does that mean for home buyers and the mortgage industry?
Well, let's back up first, get an understanding of why the rates dropped so much on Thursday and Friday. So if I'm an investor and I have $1 billion and I have 2 major markets to invest in, one is the bond market, one is the stock market, and the stock market's plummeting, I'm going to pull my cash out and go to safety. Safety is bonds. And when there's more demand for those bonds than there is supply, the rates drop down. I actually think one of the purposes of this tariff is to force a little bit of the slowing of the economy at the very moment, a little bit of a scare. I don't think it's actually going to last that long. I think we're going to do just fine. But go ahead and do a little bit of a scare, cause the Federal Reserve to cut the rates, cause the stock market to drop down a little bit. I don't think Trump is worried at all where the stock market's going to go, because I think it's going to rebound and our economy is going to come back with a vengeance, because you're going to have more imports and exports being more evened out. You're going to see the economy pick up, energy wages are going to go up. I think it's a lot better long term. If it's better long term, it's better for mortgage rates. Now, what happens on the flip side is people are making more money, interest rates are dropping. Everybody that was sitting on the sidelines to buy a home is coming out and say, hey, rates are lower, let's buy right now.
Things get loony then.
And St. Louis, St. Charles County is the 6th hottest market in the country.
Wow.
In the country. So we're already seeing these bidding wars and people going into houses. Oh, I lost a house this morning, the customer tells me, because somebody offered $100,000 more than the asking price and they're paying cash. So how am I going to compete with this? We have tools that you can compete and be able to overcome. But this is what's going to happen in this market. So you're in the twos.
Yeah.
You had a great mortgage guy.
I had the best mortgage guy. Yeah.
And you're not going to be apt to go ahead and sell your home unless you're forced to, if you need another location or if you need a bigger home because you have more kids. You're going to stay put. Why would you want to go ahead and pay double the interest for half the house in the same payment? So the inventory is not going at the pace of people that want to buy. And so you're going to be in bidding wars. And we have tools that you can call us, how you're going to beat the system and be able to buy the house and beat the other offers that are out there.
Kenny on YouTube says, fact, you just dropped my rate by over a point and my monthly payment $300. So Kenny, thank you for that comment and for letting us know about that with Stuart's American Mortgage. When you look at what Donald Trump, and again, I keep reminding people this, I shouldn't have to, but Donald Trump told us the whole campaign that this is what he was going to do. So for people who voted for him and are surprised now that he's doing this, you weren't paying attention. For people who didn't vote for him and are mad at him, I see how you'd be upset for voting against something and then watching it come to fruition. Donald Trump has said that we need to reset. He's kind of needs I've seen people on X calling it a great reset. That the path we're headed down, we know that it goes off a cliff. Something very significant has to change. Do you think that this is a transformative time in American history with the magnitude of what Donald Trump is doing?
I think it's huge. I mean, bring back manufacturing. Bring back export imports where it's evenly divided, not where all of a sudden we're paying extra. I mean, there are some countries I believe that actually produce tariffs or have tariffs against our imports without us reciprocating. And that's been around for quite some time. So I think it's time. Bring back the manufacturing. Bring back wage increases. People should make more. It should be proportional to what those increases are. And you'll see an economy that's not dependent on third parties. I mean, how much do you get from China today? So go ahead and force China. And by the way, we funded China. If you look at the whole situation over the last 30, 40 years, by buying so much and saying, okay, we're going to go ahead and give China all the business in the world, it's cheaper. At the end of the day, look where they are politically and militarily because of the funds that we gave them. And that happens also with oil and other types of extremist organizations. So I think bringing back the economic power back to the United States and keeping us in control is the right direction overall. And it's great for interest rates. It's going to be great for housing. It's going to be great across the board.
Stewie, a couple of my friends in the finance world that I talk to regularly have been, and they're not Trump fans, by the way. So, well, one is, and all over the board, but it's not political. They're just saying, and they have been for a couple of years, this market, this stock market is just juiced. And they were saying this before this. They've been saying it for a couple of years, that we've printed so much money that it has artificially inflated the stock market. And I just want to know if you have been thinking that for a while too, and is this correcting that?
Well, let's go back a little bit to pre-exit of COVID, okay? At the prior administration, the Biden administration, they went ahead and gave this country a $1.3 or $1.4 trillion cash influx. Remember getting those checks in the mail for just for the heck of it? Why did they do that? The economy was growing at a great pace at that particular moment. It was rebounding from COVID. Why would you infuse extra cash into the economy? All you're going to have is people spending money, because if they have money in their pocket, they're going to spend it, and that causes inflation a lot quicker than anything else. So I believe that the stock market's already overplayed. I think it's going to back down and get a little more reasonable. It doesn't mean that we can't make more money overall and it can't grow properly, but at the end of the day, giving a lot of people cash, that's going to be your biggest enemy of inflation.
Is this the smart way to do that? Because Trump is sort of saying it ends now, whereas would it have happened anyway?
I don't think it would have happened for quite some time, and I think we would have lost our foothold in general and be at the beck and call of other countries. And I think he's saying this stops now. I think pull everything back, put it back into the country, bring back manufacturing. That's the key thing in this country. You see Hyundai, I think, is opening up a plant right now. So all of a sudden they're saying, oh, we don't want to be responsible for these tariffs. We're gonna cooperate with you. Remember, America is the most powerful country in this world. We want to stay that way. Okay, we want to be the economic power. We want to call the shots. Don't be afraid to call the shots. Don't worry about it. It'll come back. I think he's got a good team there. I think he's going in the right direction.
Stuart Rosenmblum in studio with us right now. Of course, he's the president of Stewart's American Mortgage, and you know him as Stewie and the Bagel Loan Guy. Before we let you go, Stewie, is there anything, because I'm always trying to analyze in my mind, all right, I think I understand what Donald Trump is trying to do. What he says he's trying to do makes sense to me. Is there any way, or is there anything you're looking for to see that, oh my gosh, this is taking a turn for the worse? This is going south in a big way.
I have a lot of faith in Donald Trump. Look at him historically, okay? If you look at what he does, first of all, anything that you think he's doing, scratch it out of your mind, because he has his own thoughts and own direction, and you may try to guess what it is. I don't think he's going to destroy this economy. He knows what he's doing. Again, I think it's a chess game. I think he's forcing the outside world to come and make things more fair, more equal, and to help the country as overall. I think you're going to see over the next couple months, he's going to kind of, I wouldn't say be softened on it, but he's going to start negotiating with the different players. And all of a sudden, at the end of the day, you're going to see we're going to be in a better position after the fact. So I can't guess what Donald Trump is doing exactly. I can only speculate based on what we talked about. But knowing him and his history, he plays chess. Look at the Abraham Accords that were produced. He did the same thing during that period of time. Before the end of the day, you have peace with UAE and Israel and other places like that. So I think he's going to do the same thing with the economy, same thing with the other leaders. And I think he's going to deal with it also when it comes to the other types of challenges that we have in the world.
Are you paying attention to... we hear about no tax on tips. We hear about no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. We're watching Elon Musk cut government spending. I mean, the tariff thing is a huge part of his economic plan, but it is not only what he's doing here. Have you heard any sort of legislation or anything that has you nervous about what he's trying to do economically in the tax bill and everything? Is there anything that's on your radar off the top of your head right now?
I don't know. I think it's great. If you take $1 trillion of fat off government spending and waste, and then you cut the reciprocal side on the taxes, which gives us a little bit more money in our pockets and helps us along the way, you're not losing anything. You're not losing anything. Keep in mind, too, that he knows that there is a lot of loans out there to this country. And the interest rates that are on this country, I think there's a $100 billion interest payment coming due or something along those lines. He knows the rate that we're paying on that is exorbitant to other countries and other places. So by reducing these interest rates, he's also going to reduce the interest rates that the United States has to pay on this debt and potentially reduce that debt. So everybody thought he's going to go out and borrow money and borrow money. Well, maybe he is, but it's going to be a lot lower rate, and maybe he's going to go ahead and cut that fat. So I'm not worried about cutting taxes. And I also believe by cutting taxes, you're allowing corporations to go ahead and invest money into areas like training and expansion and growth. So if they cut those taxes, we've seen historically that when taxes are cut, companies don't sit there and just pocket the money. They go out and invest it for growth purposes. So if you do that and you cut the taxes on the reciprocal side to the individuals and you also cut the fat, and that's the biggest thing. The biggest problem that we ever have in government is government. So if they can cut the fat and get rid of all that stuff, you're going to save trillions of dollars. On the flip side, why not give the benefit to the consumers?
Man, I'm glad that I don't have to follow Stewie in the next segment. I'm really glad that it's on your shoulders, Ryan.
Well, I think I'll do an okay job. I don't think I'll do a great job. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stay mostly away from finances.
Well, we just covered it, I think.
Yeah.
Stewie, thank you for coming in and giving us some of your time. I asked you last week, and I'm glad you could come in and lay it out there for us as you see it. We appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Don't panic. Things are good. Take advantage of those lower interest rates. Refinance if you can. If you're buying a home, do it quickly because as the rates continue to drop, it's going to become more competitive. So do it now. Refinance now, and we're available if you need us.
Well, if you are interested in talking to Stewie, no obligation, of course, if you want to reach out and see what he's talking about specifically in your situation. I say this from the heart. I am a 2-time bagel loan customer myself, and I am so grateful that I did that when I was talking about it and rates were low. If rates are lower now, because you did have to get one of those homes in the last 3 years and they were super high, you can reach Stewie directly. You can call him or text him at 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. And just say, hey, Annie keeps talking about a bagel loan. How can you help me? We appreciate you, Stewie. We'll have you back again soon.
Thanks for having me.
Take care. We'll be back with Wiggins America next.
This is the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I am the place that made enough bricks annually to encircle the equator. While home gardeners often curse St. Louis's thick, sticky soil, it's that very clay that turned our region into the largest brick manufacturing center in the world. Thanks to immigrant and African-American laborers and hydraulic brick pressing machines, St. Louis would transform brick from a commonplace building material into a veritable art form. St. Louis is more fascinating than you realize, and the Missouri Historical Society is giving it a proper introduction. Learn more at wearestlewis.com.
I met my wife in law school at the University of Florida. She was from upstate New York and I was from Kentucky. We met at a daily mass at St. Augustine's. She was the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen in my life. After communion, I followed her out of the church and got her phone number. The rest is history. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Little did we know that one day we would have 4 children and the largest injury firm in the world. All 4 work in the business. It's a family business. Did I ever see this coming? Hell no. We just worked very hard and treated our clients like we would want to be treated, like family. It's a full-service injury firm, auto accidents, medical malpractice, workers' compensation, Social Security, and insurance disputes. We're open 24/7, 365 days a year. Visit forthepeople.com and we can get to work on your case. No recovery, no fee. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Do you ever wonder if you've saved enough money to retire? Well, there is a way you can find out how to make your money go a lot further in retirement. It's a 3-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. And it's a one-night class. It's taught by a fiduciary advisor from Financial and Tax Architects, and they have decades of financial planning experience. Now, they hold these at colleges and libraries throughout St. Louis, and you'll learn about reducing your taxes, maximizing your Social Security income, paying for health care, and more. This is Sue Thomas, and you can go for free, but they ask that you bring 3 canned goods for St. Louis Crisis Nursery. There are a handful of openings for classes this month and next, so just register. You just have to call 314-947-2012, 314-947-2012. The number again, 314-947-2012.
People ask me, Mulchman, what's your secret? Well, it's Hanson's Premium Compost. It's nutrient-packed and makes your plants grow stronger than ever. Without it, I'd just be a regular guy with some dirt. So get your garden in shape this spring with Hanson's Compost. Trust me, I'm the Mulchman. Check us out at hansonstree.com. Yow!
Wow, the YouTube live chat poll is, are in-person protests effective in 2025? There are a couple options, so we ask you to participate and vote on this. Are in-person protests effective in 2025? Also, just letting you know, Little Big Town is coming to the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater on July 25th. If you want to go for free to see Little Big Town on July 25th, we will be giving away a pair of tickets in every show this week, so stay tuned for that. 12:48, this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
TheDiamondShop.com.
TheDiamondShop.net. If you are looking to purchase something for Mother's Day coming up, but of course anything, has a great sale on diamonds in April. 40% off all in-stock jewelry. There at the Diamond Shop, and you want to make sure that you partner with them for a great price on a great, unique piece of jewelry. The Diamond Shop wants to guide you through your purchase so that you're comfortable, so that you're very happy, so that you end up recommending the Diamond Shop in the future to the people who you talk to, so much so that the Diamond Shop generally becomes the generational jeweler for families because people just trust them. I certainly do. My husband certainly does. And we have sent family and friends of ours as well to the Clayton Shop there to experience what it's like to work with the Diamond Shop. Like I said, they're located in Clayton. They've served St. Louis since 1910. The Diamond Shop is there to help you with your jewelry needs, with your jewelry and watch repair, appraisals. They also buy gold. But right now, of course, you can save on those special sales here in April. 30% off all in-stock jewelry all month. And you can save on diamond in-stock jewelry. It's 40% off. That's fantastic. It's April's birthstone. Celebrate an April birthday with a beautiful diamond. TheDiamondShop.net.
97.1 FM Talk is proudly supporting the Guns N' Hoses Queen of Hearts raffle, benefiting the St. Louis Backstoppers. Learn more at stlgunsandhoses.com and listen to the Mark Cox Morning Show Fridays at 8:20 for winner announcements. This is the Annie Fry Show.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins! All right, the Monday Roundup, all the stuff you missed over the weekend that is not related to the market, although I guess this is somewhat related. It's a market of its own. It's the box office. Is anybody aware of the top movie in the nation right now?
I'm going to guess Minecraft.
It is the Minecraft movie.
Chicken jockey. Continue to hear about Minecraft all weekend.
It shocked everybody. I think there were big stars in it, but it did over $300 million global opening. And the headline of this Daily Mail article is, shocks everyone, 300 million global opening while Snow White slips again.
Where? Where do they have to slip?
Yeah, it's already pretty low, so I didn't actually look to see how far Snow White slipped, but it's definitely way underperforming. They're very concerned that it will not make even its own budget back.
I will continue to pitch the idea of Disney hiring me as their DEI conservative person hire. I would be very happy to be their conservative voice and have them use me because they obviously don't have anybody else saying, whoa, what are you doing? This is the stupidest move you could possibly make. People won't even see the movie. I mean, I've heard the movie, Snow White movie reviews are pretty bad.
It's bad across the board.
It's not like, the red side of the aisle really got a successful boycott going. It's not that.
No, it's everybody.
There's nothing good. And Rachel Zegler has said to many people, if you like Trump, do not come see my movie. And they're like, okay.
Yeah, that was an easy decision.
Thank you for the heads up.
Did you see all of the reaction in theaters? Like, people are recording themselves watching the Minecraft movie in theaters. And I guess there's a bunch of little hidden terms and stuff, like quotes that I guess if you're a Minecraft fan, you understand, and they're saying it as they're saying it on screen, and people are throwing their popcorn in the air and are going crazy
because they're excited about it
at
these moments. Yes,
what is it, like Rocky Horror Picture Show?
You
get the reference, don't you, Ethan?
No, I don't. It is.
I think we're saying the same thing across generations right now.
I think we are.
I don't know.
That's
either
not even
of
my
them,
generation, though.
I was going to say, I'm in the middle, so somebody will have to translate
That's not
both.
Me.
There is some crazy videos, though, of this stuff. It's pretty funny on Twitter.
Are you guys Minecraft people?
Mm-mm.
No?
It's been played in the house, but not for a very long time. And no.
I think my son plays it sometimes, and that's about as far as we dip into it.
A lot of Fortnite. And
I can't even keep track. That's
League.
The one I was thinking of when I heard Minecraft. Is Fortnite.
There'll be a movie eventually,
not
probably.
Not the same at all.
Not the same.
Not the same at all.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I think a Fortnite movie would be fun.
All right.
Battle royale of celebrities. You should know who all 100 people are going.
Really though, before we move on, is Minecraft? Is there a plot to the game that they just translated into a movie, or they just make something up?
I know that there's a main character in Minecraft, and that's who Jack
enough.
Black plays,
Okay.
but that's all that I know.
If you don't know Minecraft, we don't have the amount of time to explain what the plot would be for you to then understand why.
Well, I understand.
But it's not like there's a storyline to Minecraft,
Okay.
really.
But there's
It's
a main
you.
character
Yeah,
at least.
It's free play. It's all based around free play.
Democrats see growing number of young progressive challengers. So at least 3 long-serving members of the House,
It's
including
because all the old Democrats are still in office.
Nancy Pelosi is one of them, and a couple others are getting challenges, and they're speculating that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez could challenge Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. They're moving left, guys. They're moving. If these challengers win, which remains to be seen,
Go on.
the party would be moving further left from where they are now.
Have you
Good
seen
move?
the YouTube poll for today? Is our in-person protests effective in 2025? They're all retired white women.
That was strange to see this weekend, that it was not young protesters.
It's not strange when you look at the last election to see who emphatically voted against Donald Trump. Highly educated white women. Well, they've all maneuvered their way to protests. So you get younger people out there, like, go for it. If you want to flank the Democratic Party on the left side,
I know.
where do I donate?
You know what? Maybe depending on how the economy goes, maybe there's a socialist economic message that ends up taking root here. But they will lose on the social issues.
And you know where they're going to win?
No matter what.
Illinois.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't even know. We'll talk about that later.
Ovechkin breaks Gretzky's all-time record with 895th goal.
It's about time. I've been watching that closely.
I know. Me too. I kept saying, when's somebody going to knock off that old jerk Wayne Gretzky?
Nobody said that.
I was saying that for years because Gretzky. I mean, come on. Nobody likes Gretzky. That's a joke, by the way. Ovechkin has now... I was talking with Ethan about this before we came in here. It's really neat because it's the exact same number of games that it took both of them to get to that record.
Correct. So Ovi broke Wayne Gretzky's goal record in the same amount of games played, 1,200 something.
Anybody could do that.
Amazing. And Annie will do it next.
Well, if I decide to apply myself.
Yeah.
I'm still considering.
You've got a career.
I'm waiting for the right offer. It has not yet come.
Is he better than Gretzky? That's the big debate now.
I mean, goal scorer, yes, this is proof that, they're at least at the same level. Overall, no.
Bless.
Wayne Gretzky's still the greatest overall player of all time.
That's the consensus, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. There's the weekend roundup, Monday roundup, here on the Annie Fry Show.
We've got a press conference coming up. Donald Trump's supposed to be taking questions on tariffs. We're going to follow that. We're hoping to connect with Steve Moore and Ryan Schmelz, but we will take that Trump press conference if and when that takes place. Here on the Annie Fry Show, get on the YouTube channel with us. Come hang out. We'll be right back.
What's your favorite 4-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our 4-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar, and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
A lot of people are getting their air conditioners tuned up and ready to go for the summer, and we're getting a lot of calls of people saying they want a second opinion, to have us come out and requesting us to come out there and take a look at their air conditioners. They've been told that they need a new one, and the repair is quite costly and might be best for them to replace the air conditioner and then repair it. If you're in that situation, please give me a call, because there is truly some opportunities here for you that we could save you lots of money, because I'm sure you're going to be shocked. We have the equipment that still works best for you with your budget. It's pretty much the best. It's what I would put in my home. It's what I would recommend. Give me a call. It's Bart Inman. One easy number, the easiest number in Missouri and Illinois. That is 314-293-2600. 800. Or the online thing, and that is bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
Israel's prime minister just arriving at the White House. Lisa Brady, Fox News. The second meeting for Benjamin Netanyahu since President Trump won a second term, and he becomes the first leader to have a meeting on tariffs. This as President Trump warns China to cancel its retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods by tomorrow or face an additional 50% tariff.
So if nothing changes, goods from China starting Wednesday will be under a 104% tariff. Here's how we get there. 20% added for fentanyl emergency, added to the 34% announced for the reciprocal tariffs, added to the 50% for the U.S., and that's how we get to 104%. The White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett saying about 50 countries now have contacted the U.S. Trade Representative's office to negotiate, at least 2 of them saying they want zero tariffs. Market experts see this as action starting to happen.
Fox Business's Edward Lawrence, the president, and the Israeli prime minister plan to take questions in the Oval Office, scrapping the original plan for a formal news conference. Israel's renewed fight against Hamas and Gaza also a likely topic for today's meeting. A federal appeals court declines to stay an order requiring the Trump administration to return one of the accused gang members recently deported to El Salvador because of an immigration judge's previous order not allowing him to be sent there. The administration now asking the U.S. Supreme Court to intervene. The Democratic National Committee is going to war.
The DNC announces the launch of what it calls a war room, meant to expand and streamline party operations and more rapidly respond to Republican messaging and what the Democrats call lies. Another part of the plan is more town hall events and appearances on conservative media. Media and politics advisor Tim Hogan will oversee it. He was communications director for Senator Amy Klobuchar's 2020 presidential campaign and worked on Hillary Clinton's 2016 campaign.
Fox's Chris Foster. White House Communications Director Stephen Chung says Democrats have no idea how to set up a functioning war room and response operation. America is listening to Fox News.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com.
If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-298-9383. 800-298-9383.
Don't get suckered into the same old free phone game by Big Wireless. There is a better way. Pure Talk, my sponsor, my wireless company, has a better offer. A brand new free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan for $35 a month. You get unlimited talk, unlimited text, 15 gigs of data, all on America's most dependable 5G network. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Pure Talk for your free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan. Pure Talk, wireless by Americans for Americans.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Sunshine in control all afternoon as our days continue to get a little bit longer, but it's on the windy side. Certainly cool for this time of year. 59 for the high. Tonight, clear, cold, a light freeze towards morning. 29:30 for the overnight low. On Tuesday, sunny and cool, 55. Wednesday, clouds move back in. Some showers developing late day and into the night. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Dear employer,
my name is Phil Martin.
My name is Michael Roskovich.
Ronaldo Bird.
Zach Deiser. I am writing to express my excitement at the opportunity to join your team.
As someone on the spectrum,
I possess a unique set of skills
that sets me apart from other candidates.
My detail-oriented nature allows me to communicate complex ideas,
to break down data,
to have no fear in meeting new people.
I may communicate in ways that are different from what you are used to.
Structure, routine,
and clear expectation.
Help me do my best work.
My autism allows me to have a perspective that needs to be seen and heard.
It allows me to make the world safer and improve systems in ways others can't.
It allows me to bring people's inner worlds to life with my artwork.
My autism
will bring your team important insights.
Thank you for your consideration.
An autistic inclusive workplace is good for business. It's time to make a change. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/win.
Men, are you just not feeling it? Could be your testosterone. U.S. Men's Medical Center in St. Peter's helps men experiencing loss of energy, focus, concentration, and low libido. Check out the testimonials at usmensmedicalcenter.com. Patients are excited about feeling great, having energy, improved libido. Plus, they love the staff and the fact that they accept all insurance, including Medicare. Spring's coming. Enjoy it. Call U.S. Men's Medical Center at 636-244-5333. USMen'sMedicalCenter.com.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com. It's election season, and you need the facts before you vote. Mark Cox here. Get my April 2024 Voters Guide, your go-to source for key races, candidates, and issues. Download it at 971talk.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Republicans argue it is time for Congress to clamp down on judges. Lawmakers can do that since Congress created many of these courts.
Now that you have a more conservative court, they're desperate. They're not in power in Congress anymore. And so I think a lot of these judges are taking it upon themselves to usurp really important power.
The House will consider a bill on Thursday mandating proof of citizenship to vote. Top Democrats are suing President Trump over an executive order about voting. They say the president lacks the power to make people prove they are Americans. Wisconsin just approved a plan requiring ID to vote.
So there's Chad Pergram and, of course, Senator Eric Schmidt talking about the constant legal effort against Donald Trump. Isn't it funny how they're like, you can't make them prove they're citizens? Seems like people should be like, hi, here I am a citizen. One of the most annoying things about the push to show an ID when you vote is there's this really, in my opinion, poorly founded attempt to get who all worked up? Women. And why? Because the patriarchy is trying to make you prove that you are who you say you are. When you go to vote, you're supposed to have two forms of ID that match your name. And my birth certificate does not have the same name on it that my license does because I got married and I changed my name. These are things that could be very simply fixed, and I wish that the Republicans would address it. I mean, if you're legal, every time I fill anything out and it says it says you have to fill out your legal name, a lot of times, especially if it has to do with income taxes or finances, I will have to list other names that I've been known by. This stuff is part of record. Why on your voter card, when they go to flip through the binder to find your place so that they can give you the correct ballot, why could it not list your name, your maiden name? Why would that be a problem? It wouldn't be. And why would we be willing to say, oh, to hell with it? If you're an immigrant and you're here illegally and you're not a citizen and you want to vote, we'll let those people vote. So some old bat who's got her name changed and wants to get all worked up about it won't have to deal with the proof that her name is legally what it says in their binder.
I think you might just be part of the patriarchy.
Binders of women.
You know what?
Blame Pierre Delecto for this one.
It would be weird though if the patriarchy solved that problem, because then what would you do? Patriarchy can't solve a problem created by the patriarchy, can they? This is a bizarro world.
Well, you would think that you would want to put it on the patriarchy to fix their own mess, but if you're a postmodern feminist, you know that men are incapable of fixing messes.
They can't fix it.
They just make messes worse all the time. So I think what should end up happening is only women should vote.
Ooh. Yeah. You know what? There's nothing in the Constitution. There was never an amendment for men to vote.
I think actually there was. I think there was. I think that was the problem. And I will remind everybody that black men could vote before white women. Maybe that's why they're mad. It's just starting to catch up to them. They just finally read their history books. Protests. Are in-person protests effective in 2025? I have only known that this was a weekend of protesting. I mean, like, super protesting, not like, I'm really sad and I'm angry and there's a Tesla, I'm going to key it right now because I have feelings. Not that. Apparently there were organized protests, and I, by chance, did not encounter any of them. But of course, social media will always do the trick and serve it up. Like, it's just like The View. Does it even exist if conservative media doesn't promote it? I don't know.
No, it doesn't.
I am unaware. Millions of conservatives had to look up the time that The View is on and the channel that The View is on the day after Election Day because they couldn't help themselves.
Yeah, I think that show is actually subsidized by the GOP.
Yeah, just you keep doing what you're doing. Don't move. Don't go away. ABC, just knocking it out of the park. There were protests. What do you know about them?
I know that they looked like some of them were big, but they looked like they were targeted to areas where you'd go, wow, a big protest in Utah? Even Utah? Like they picked certain areas so that they could say that. It was all about the narrative.
That's really like flattering to Utah.
Yeah.
Like if you're a Utahn.
Uh-huh.
Are you going
UTON?
No, AHN.
Ah.
I think that's the correct term.
Okay.
Do you doubt me?
Yes.
I kind of do, but I'm 52% sure. Do you think that if you hear that, like even in Utah, are you like, hey, we're mad too over here, and we can throw fits?
I don't know what you'd think if you're in Utah, because I have no clue. I've been to Utah one time. Beautiful place. Don't know what their politics are, because they seem like they elect weird people sometimes.
So you didn't encounter anything?
I didn't encounter anything.
How much did you know about it?
I knew about it because of social media. That's it. It's all a social media play at this point. That's what's weird about protesting, is that it's about the cameras much more than it is about the protest, which I'm not blaming them. That's the way it's played now. But it's not, it just doesn't feel like an old 60s hippie protest anymore. It's all about staging the shots.
Brad, did you encounter any protesting?
No, I didn't encounter any protesting. I knew about them same way Ryan did. I'd open up social media and look and be like, oh, look, there's a protest going on. Apparently there were like 4 people in my hometown that were taking part, just 4 of them, but in O'Fallon, Illinois, standing out front of City Hall, hands off.
Did they stop City Hall?
No.
Did City Hall take notice and go, uh-oh?
It was Sunday. Look, we shut this place down.
This place didn't even open today.
I tell you, I saw a picture of them, and the funny thing is, it was exactly who you said they were, Annie. It was like 3 old white ladies and 1 old white man. Gray hair.
It's the same people from the 60s. We were just talking about them.
So, man, I don't know what good doing protests does anymore. I've only been part of one protest, and that was the Show Us Your Smiles rally.
We're like, we like to see people smile.
Yeah,
and
please.
People are walking around going, boo, 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 with their middle fingers, like, smiling sucks, cover that up. And you're like, have a nice day.
I mean, what a bizarre event that was. It was literally called the Show Us Your Smile event.
I still have a sign that I made.
And we had a song, too. It was Show Me That Smile Again. Show me that smile again.
No, it wasn't. We chanted not once.
No? We didn't?
No.
We didn't sing?
No.
Maybe that's where we messed up. We didn't stop COVID.
Did that was the whole point.
Could have sung it right out of there.
That was a protest. I don't think it had no effect on things. Sometimes you just need to. I think that a successful protest brings light and attention to something that maybe people didn't realize. I am not. If I see people out protesting Trump, I'm like, happy Tuesday.
Yeah, what's new?
People from Utah are officially called Utahns. I even spelled it correctly. Do you see that right there? Huh? On the screen?
I'm looking. Hang on.
Skill.
A term that has been codified by the state legislature.
Oh.
I wonder if
Man,
Illinois.
I don't know if I like the way that's spelled because it looks like Utahns. Utahns.
I'm sure that Utah's concerned about your thoughts on how to spell Utah.
Well, we need to make this a video and tag Utah in it.
Can we get the social media handle, Ethan, for Utah?
Look, it's all about, we just said, it's all
Not
about the
anybody
cameras.
Specifically, just the state of Utah.
Yes.
We need to speak to Utahns altogether.
Let's call the video, What Are You, Utahns? You know what it reminds me of?
There he goes. He going.
Is a salad.
What? Like a crouton?
Like a crouton.
Oh, okay.
That's all I got for this whole segment.
If you're out on a protest and you're trying to bring awareness to something, okay. If you're trying to bring, like, I'm not 100% sure because I didn't encounter any of them, so I can't speak from personal experience. I've seen stuff out there from people who protested in Illinois, in like Springfield, and people who are protesting around St. Louis because I saw it on social media, and they're just really mad at President Elon Musk. And it's like, at the end of this protest, what do you hope to accomplish? Like, what's the outcome?
It's a great question because there's weird story, but I interviewed somebody on my weekend show about 2 years ago. If you know the name Richard Matheson, he's a famous sci-fi writer, wrote for Twilight Zone and Star Trek and stuff. His daughter was also a TV writer. He's dead, but I got to interview his daughter. And she was great. She was totally willing to come on 97.1. But she's now a friend of mine on Facebook because of that interview. And so I see when she goes out and does things. She's exactly who you'd think. She's a 60-something-year-old white woman. And she was out protesting this weekend. So I was like, oh, this is interesting. Somebody in my feed who's out protesting the same stuff we're seeing on socials. She was holding up signs that said things like, hands off my Medicaid and Social Security.
It's good.
And I have to honestly...
Better not stop Trump too much because he wants to make Social Security tax-free.
I know. I just don't understand because it's not... As far as I understand it, none of those things have been affected at all. Now, somebody maybe find a detail somewhere and say, well, though this thing has. But has anybody stopped getting payments or has Social Security or Medicaid really been affected at all? Because I think the answer to that is no.
Have real, live beneficiaries of Social Security missed out on any benefits? And if you're like, no, they haven't yet, but they're going to, and you're trying to stop something from happening, it'll be funny when it doesn't happen and you feel accomplished in stopping it from happening when it was never going to happen.
Yeah, you're kind of in a win-win there, aren't you?
Maybe they're brilliant.
They're the ones playing the 3D chess.
I'm gonna go
They've
out,
outwitted Trump.
Start an Annie Fry show protest that demands the sun rise in the east.
Yep. And if it does,
by tomorrow morning,
you win.
Yay!
Let's go do that protest at 3.
It's probably gonna be super cloudy the next day.
We told you they were going to take the sun away.
We had this one in the
bank. We still win because we told everybody the sun's not going to come up. We need to get out there and get this message.
We'll give them 24 more hours,
and then we're going to do this again. They better get their act together.
Dave Murray on our side.
Yeah,
we should talk to him first.
Dave Murray would be glad to be a part of that conversation. I guarantee it.
I'm pretty sure no.
I'm pretty sure no. Also,
he turns down pretty fast.
Yep, I changed my mind immediately.
Donald Trump is going to speak in the Oval Office. Of course, Steve Moore is on Fox News right now, as we usually manage to schedule a conflict there. So we'll have to listen to what he has to say. We'll play that when we come back. Is Ryan going to be with us?
Last I checked, he was still in that meeting.
Okay, so no.
So as of right now, no, but he might be ready for 225.
Well, we're continuing to watch the White House schedule that I got last night said that this press conference was supposed to start at 1:30. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to go a little bit longer in this segment, and then we'll we'll go to a commercial break, but we're trying to make sure that whatever Donald Trump has to say right now, because what he has to say could be hugely impactful on what's going on right now with the markets. I wish that they'd put that little ticker back up there right now, because get Fox Business up here right now. The markets are not panicking today the way that I think a lot of people were worried about it. The NASDAQ and the S&P are both up.
Wow.
The
That's
Dow
a
is
surprise.
down 29 points.
That is a huge surprise. That's wild. I messaged you guys yesterday. What's the over-under on the...
You set the over-under.
Over-under on Dow dropping 3,500 points. Because all in other international markets, especially Asia, were dropping by 9, 8, 10%.
Yeah.
So I said, man, if that happens here, that's what it's going to look like.
So we went to the economist in the room, and Brad was like, I'm going to take the under.
And Brad
as in not going up, not going to crash 3,500 points.
Right now it's at, let's see, last I checked, it was 55 down.
29 points. I just said I'm looking at it right now. I'll let you check it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You go ahead and tell me
what
what
mine
happened.
says too.
Really?
Well, now it says 57, so it's moving. DJIA, Dow Jones Industrial Average.
I
yes.
think the number one thing that we could do for the rest of the show is every time it moves, we should tell you.
61.
Okay, 62. Down.
This is like 1999.
No, this is what we have to do. We'll say it in a low voice if it's going down, but once it starts going up, you have to say it in a high voice.
Does it have to be in the green to say it in a high voice, or just that it went up from before?
Just for fun, I think if it moves in the
39.
correct direction, there you go.
Just waiting on the next one. I'll let you know.
We'll just sit here and wait.
Okay. Oh, 65.
Oh no, that's sad.
65. It's a big drop.
This is how people are living their lives right now. I don't mean to make light of it, other than the fact that it's not Black Monday.
Oh, 88.
Oh gosh.
Hey, NASDAQ's still at 171 up.
I'm going to need a little more height on that report.
Okay. 62. Dow Jones.
President Trump will be meeting and speaking with Netanyahu. They will be in the Oval Office. We will carry it live when we come back. We want to know your thoughts on the Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll. Have had the opportunity to explain a little bit recently to people who came to vote for the poll and couldn't find it, didn't understand it. Let me make it real simple. You pull up your app. You pull up the live broadcast at youtube.com. You go on your computer. You go on your screen at home if you're looking on a smart screen. When you pull up the chat area of the live broadcast happening right now, you're going to have this question and these options to answer. Are in-person protests effective in 2025? Yes, they're effective in favor of the cause. Yes, they're effective, but against the cause. Or no, they're just not effective anymore. We want to know what you think about this. We'll look to take phone calls on it if we get 300 votes. Is this... No, that's last week's. I was going to say, man, that's a huge total of votes. If we get over 300 votes before 2 o'clock, we'll take phone calls in the 2 o'clock hour on this as well. So hustle up and get there. We're a little over halfway to that point right now. So let's take a quick break. We will bring you Donald Trump and Netanyahu in the Oval Office as soon as they start speaking. Hasn't happened yet, so stick with us. We're so glad to bring you the up-to-the-minute developments on this very important time in the Donald Trump administration. This is what they told us they were going to do. Now we see how smart Donald Trump is. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I look for the words but cannot explain. A new kind of love right into my veins. You are the key to all of my chains.
AirComfortService.com. They are there to guide you through any sort of HVAC repairs that you might need, replacements. Boo. I understand that's not like exciting news, but when you have to go through the process of repairing or replacing that HVAC system, you want to make sure you're going to go with the experts who are going to do the job right the first time. We're going to make sure that you are fully satisfied with your experience. They give you options on how to best address whatever your particular situation is, and they can guide you through a whole bunch of different types of issues you might have with your heating, your air conditioning, your insulation, and more. Right now, they have stocked up on 2024 HVAC equipment, and they're offering it 2024 pricing. There are savings they're able to pass on to you because there are a lot of regulations that have been put on 2025 products. They've got those 2024s, and you can save. The increase in prices is like 20%. Reach out to Air Comfort Service and reserve one of these units for your home, for your place of business, by calling 314-513-0091. Now is the time to get a free estimate and talk about upgrading your system at those 2024 prices. You may be eligible for Carrier Cool Cash rebates up to $1,700. Don't sleep on this. Call 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. AirComfortService.com.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8 year old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the award-winning online learning program.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Designed by education experts, ABC Mouse seamlessly aligns with what your child is already learning in school. And with over 10,000 learning activities and more than 850 lessons, it's an engaging and comprehensive curriculum. More info at abcmouse.com/radio.
I have been teaching for 13 years, and I've never seen a program like ABC Mouse. It encompasses science, math, reading, social studies.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensated for their testimonials. Sponsored by Age of Learning.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter. They're the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. Call 314-499-2020. That's 499-2020 or GeneratorSuperCenterofStLouis.com. That's GeneratorSuperCenterofStLouis.com.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. The winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Men, are you just not feeling it? Could be your testosterone. U.S. Men's Medical Center in St. Peters helps men experiencing loss of energy, focus, concentration, and low libido. Check out the testimonials at usmensmedicalcenter.com. Patients are excited about feeling great, having energy, improved libido. Plus, they love the staff and the fact that they accept all insurance, including Medicare. Spring's coming. Enjoy it. Call U.S. Men's Medical Center at 636-244-5333. USMen'sMedicalCenter.com.
It's Mark Reardon from my friends at Zero Res, and I want you to beat the spring cleaning rush with big savings and priority booking by calling my cleaning heroes at Zero Res. They were just in my home recently. The carpets are nice and clean. You can feel the difference in the home, and you too can step into a fresher, cleaner home this spring with Zero Res. Let's face it, spring is time for a renewal. Let Zero Res help you refresh your home with clean carpets, fresh floors, and improved air quality. Let's do the air ducts, right? Because your air ducts are like the lungs of your home. If they're dirty, your indoor air quality suffers. So here's the deal for the month of April with Zero Res when you mention my name or 97.1 FM Talk. 3 rooms starting at $119. You could take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Right now, call Zero Res. Book it today, 314-474-2020. Ask for the 97.1 FM Talk special or mention my name. 3 rooms starting at $119, $75 off the air duct cleaning package. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res.
Registration is now open for Cinco de Kilometer 5K Fun Walk to benefit improvements to Creve Coeur Lake Memorial Park. The walk will take place at Creve Coeur Lake Memorial Park on Friday, May 2nd at 6 p.m. The 5K walk will begin at the Tremaine Shelter located in the Sailboat Cove at 13725 Marine Avenue. Register by April 24th to receive a discounted registration fee and a commemorative 5K t-shirt. All walkers will be provided with a bib number and free drink after the walk. To register, visit stlcpf.org/5K walk.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show live Live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Save now with 2024 pricing and Carrier Cool Cash rebates up to $1,700 on a new HVAC system. For details, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Dwayne Patterson.
I think by the time we get to summer, I think a lot of this is going to play out. I think you're going to see countries start stacking up like planes coming into O'Hare Airport saying, let's renegotiate this trade thing.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Step outside and fall in love with your backyard again. From inviting porch overhangs to durable composite decks and cozy screen rooms, Lakeside Renovation and Design creates stunning outdoor living spaces designed for relaxation, entertaining, and making memories. With expert craftsmanship and top-quality materials, your new outdoor oasis will be perfect for every season. Call Lakeside Renovation and Design today or visit lakesiderd.com to get started. Let's turn your backyard into the retreat you've always dreamed of.
We are here another year, 2025, and time to be planning and scheduling your air conditioning startups to make sure you're getting ready to go this summer and got nice, proper cooling and no worries on if your air conditioner is going to make it through the summer. So give us a call. Early bird gets the worm. This is one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. The easiest of numbers, and that number is 314-293-2600. Again, if this is a little early for you, save this number in your phone then in case you do need me or you do forget to have your system checked, and it does break down on you this summer. That number, save it, is 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question, but
At 3 o'clock in the morning, the Senate just wrapped up its work on the budget resolution that allows us to move forward and make permanent those tax cuts for working class families, secure our border and money for deportations, making sure our military is ready, and also reining in wasteful spending in Washington. So the Democrats had a bunch of amendments to try to derail it. We're able to defeat those, and now it goes from the Senate over to the House. And this allows us effectively to deliver on President Trump's agenda, what the American people voted for, this America First agenda last November. So we're going to continue to work hard on it, but tonight was a big, important step in that process.
Our very own Senator Eric Schmidt talking about the vote that took place on Friday. We're going to get the details from that here from our guest. Ryan Schmelz is going to join us, Fox News Radio, Capitol Hill and White House correspondent. Of course, we're waiting for President Trump to be speaking from the White House alongside Netanyahu, who is in town. Of course, they're going to be talking about tariffs as well. So there's a lot going on, but we want to get down to this. Ryan, welcome back to the show. Thanks for being here today. What can you tell us about the developments at the very end of the week there in the Senate?
Well, great to be on, Annie, as always. Now, this was a vote-a-rama, so there were a number of amendments that went down, and this vote started late Friday night, went all the way into about 2 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning. So a very long, very exhausting night for a lot of people who are working here, whether you're in the press or you're a member of the Senate. But now it goes to the House. And what's interesting is you notice there were two people who voted no on the Republican side. You had Rand Paul from Kentucky. I don't think that was a surprise, but you also had Susan Collins of Maine voting no as well. So I think the big question is, who's going to be a no on the House side? They can only afford to lose about 3 members on this on the Republican side, and this is not looking good. You could probably say this bill is on life support. There are a number of conservative members who've already come out, indicated or said flat out that they're going to be a no, including the Freedom Caucus chairman, Andy Harris. Eric Burleson of Missouri had some pretty harsh words for the bill as well. I didn't really take it as a hard no just yet, but it definitely seemed like it's trending in the wrong direction when it comes to how certain members feel about this on the Republican side.
So Ryan Schmelz, tell us about this bill detail what the Senate is trying to accomplish here. I think a lot of people talk about it at a very high level view where it's like they're trying to push forward Trump's agenda. Well, Trump's got a lot of things going right now, and his agenda is pretty big and broad. What does the Senate feel that they were accomplishing regarding Donald Trump's agenda by passing this bill?
So, for starters, you have over $300 billion there for border and national defense, which was obviously huge for the Trump agenda. You've also got energy policy that's going to be in here, too. And I believe there's some border policy that's in there as well. And then you've got the renewal or the extension of the Trump tax cuts. And in the Senate's case, they make the Trump tax cuts permanent. And then you also have some other tax policy in there. It's over $4.5 trillion worth of tax cuts over the next decade. And it also includes $2 trillion in spending cuts. Now, where the issue is that Republicans in the House believe that there were some provisions that were put in there that would allow for the $2 trillion to essentially be skirted in many ways or not be achieved. Whereas the House version, there's a lot of parameters in there that essentially would guarantee that they have to reach $2 trillion in spending cuts. And in the House provision, they even say if you do not reach that $2 trillion goal, then you have to go and take money away from the tax cuts in order to offset that difference. The House Republicans just feel that the changes that were made by the Senate just don't guarantee that they're going to reach that goal for spending when it comes to spending cuts. So there's a big concern there and a big red flag there for a lot of them.
So the House Freedom Caucus chairman, as you mentioned, Andy Harris, said that he would oppose the Senate's version, according to a FoxNews.com exclusive here, of sweeping legislation to advance President Trump's agenda if it was voted on in the chamber this week. So the big problem there for the Freedom Caucus chair and the people who might be in his line of thinking is you have to accommodate for the cuts that you want to make permanent in these Trump tax cuts. You need to cut more spending. Is that the summation of it?
Essentially, yes. That's. I think they want perimeters in there and guarantees that they're going to reach that goal when it comes to spending cuts. And they feel that there's just too many loopholes in there right now that would allow for the Senate or for whoever the Republican president would be, whether it's President Trump or somebody else, to get around that. So they want guarantees that this does not end up like it did, let's say 2016, 2017, when they passed the Trump tax cuts initially, and they also went on to pass a budget down the road. And next thing you know, you saw the deficit move in the wrong direction. You saw the national debt move in the wrong direction. I think Republicans are kind of saying we have to do what we say we're going to do and actually address this national debt problem. And as the Budget Committee Chairman Jody Arrington calls it, a spending addiction problem he feels is here in Washington.
Ryan Schmelz is speaking with us right now. We are excited to have the Fox News Radio, Capitol Hill, and White House correspondent on with us here weekly to give us the update on what is developing on Capitol Hill. Did the Republicans in the Senate, of course you said Collins and Rand Paul there both voted against it. Are the other senators all super in favor of it? Was it pretty simple for them to be able to get this through?
There were a little bit of hiccups here and there, but ultimately they got across the finish line. And I think there is a hope amongst the administration they can do this again. President Trump still has a heavy influence in the Republican Party. So if he's able to maybe get do some lobbying here, we've gotten a statement from the White House saying that the president wants this bill to pass and he's good with it as it is. So if President Trump gets aggressive, can he sway? Can he do some arm wringing here that would get a number of these Republicans to yes? I think it certainly is a possibility, but is it going to be enough? Because the amount of Republicans we're seeing that are no's right now, that list continues to grow. And when you can only afford to lose about 3 of them when Congress has a full attendance, that's an uphill climb. So can he get there? That's the big question.
So we know that the 2 Florida races, both Waltz and Gates's positions have been filled. Republicans won both of them. Just give us a little bit more detail on the breakdown of what the House has. You've mentioned the 3 votes there. What's the difference and how does that shake out?
So we're looking at a difference of 220 to 213 right now off the top of my head. That means that they can lose about 3 votes on any given key vote. Now, down the road, eventually they're going to have special elections to fill the 2 Democrat seats of members who passed away in recent months in a very close period of time together, Texas as well as Arizona. And so when those 2 seats are filled, then they're back to where they were before, which is they can only afford to lose one person on any key vote. So this is not exactly easy. I think somebody put it in terms, the last time they did reconciliation, I believe they lost the amount of Republicans they lost. It was in the teen number. Well, they can't do that this time. You can't afford to lose 14 Republicans and still pass a bill.
Yeah.
You've got to have pretty much almost complete unity on any issue to get it through.
And I think that the only way to make that happen really has to be Donald Trump gets it through and they say, I don't like this, but which we saw in the last big vote. I didn't really like this, but I trust Donald Trump and I trust him to take this where it needs to be so that we can get done what we need to get done. Of course, one of the biggest things that everybody's talking about nationally right now are the tariffs that are being implemented across the globe by the Donald Trump administration on behalf of the United States of America. We saw some movement in Congress trying to I guess, contain a little bit the authority that the president has on those tariffs. What can you tell us about Congress's action so far?
Right. So in the Senate side, you have a resolution that's being backed by Chuck Grassley of Iowa. And Rand Paul is also pretty heavily involved with this. Not a surprise. Rand Paul has been one of the biggest critics of the Trump tariffs. He's just been a critic of tariffs in general, and he's been very consistent on that. But that resolution would return the tariff power to Congress, essentially. So a president can propose a tariff, but it has to be approved within 60 days of that tariff being approved. The president would also have to go and present, why he's doing this, what kind of impact it would have on the economy, and essentially explain why they're doing these tariffs, and then get it approved by Congress. Congressman Don Bacon of Nebraska, who Trump supporter, but has been a critic in the past. He also has a bill that's kind of similar to that, where it'd return a lot of that power to Congress and put Congress essentially in control of approving tariffs whenever they're implemented by a president. So you're kind of seeing that type of movement, but I still think there's this feeling that something like that is just not going to pass. Congress has given up a lot of trade authority to the president over the years, and it just, based off the makeup it is right now, it would be very hard for something like that to get through.
Fox News Radio, Capitol Hill and White House correspondent Ryan Schmelz speaking with us right now. Last topic for you, Elon Musk, Doge, the cuts that they've been trying to seek out and find. I think I heard him say maybe on the Brett Baer interview something like they try to find $1 billion a day to cut. What's the reaction so far on the progress that Doge is making? And then, of course, those rumors that maybe Elon Musk is not for long in Washington, D.C.
Right. So Elon's under an interesting circumstance where I believe because he's an unofficial government employee, he has to leave or has to be, no longer a part of the administration within, I think it's 130 days. It's something around that limit. But then also you have Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana going to the White House for a meeting amongst a number of Republicans and the White House last week. And he, according to him, told Susie Wiles and told President Trump, we need you to send us a rescissions package soon. And a rescissions package is pretty much a list of cuts that the White House feels, can be used, and they send it to Congress, and Congress can pass it on a simple majority. So if the votes are there, it's very easy for them to get them done. So I think that's where Kennedy is saying, hey, look, we have these cuts. They seem nice. A lot of them are getting challenged by the courts, but if you send us this package, we can get this through. And these cuts are permanent. We can officially save the government money. So I think that's maybe a step that we're going to expect down the future. According to Kennedy, Susie Wiles told him that they will get it to them very soon. So I guess we're just kind of waiting on that to happen.
That's interesting to hear that report. Ryan, regarding Doge here, I'm looking at I have the debt clock, always at the ready. Doge clock has saved over $290 billion, and they have it broken down in savings per taxpayer, $2,589. It hasn't been talked about here recently, but they did talk about a Doge dividend, the possibility that Americans would get at least a slice of that per taxpayer savings.
Yeah.
Is that still something that anybody is seriously having conversation about?
I think people like to joke about it, but I don't think people are taking that really seriously, especially when, you'll have Republicans say, all right, well, that sounds great. We did the stimulus package when President Trump was president under a very interesting circumstance, which was COVID. But, if we're going to be serious about addressing the national debt, doing a government stimulus with all the money we save is not going to really solve that issue. They think that money needs to go back to the Treasury and go back to paying back the national debt.
Well, it's an interesting thing. And unfortunately, and I guess fortunately at the same time, we have much larger fish to fry right now than the Doge dividend. But I just thought, you haven't talked about it a lot, and a lot of people across the board kind of leaned in on. Say that Doge dividend again. Explain that to me. Thank you, Ryan. We appreciate you. There's a very, very busy time right now in Capitol Hill, so we appreciate the slice of time you give us each week. Thanks for being here.
Always great to be on, Annie. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. He is the Fox News Radio Capitol Hill and White House correspondent, Ryan Schmelz. They're with us today once again. Follow him on X, at Ryan Schmelz Fox. That's his X handle. And he's great for us. We get to have really good access to what is taking place at the very, very nexus of all the events in Congress. We're going to take a quick break here. We're still watching to see President Trump and Netanyahu. We knew this could kind of be... they schedule it at 1:30, and then it probably won't start before 1:30. That's basically how I always think of things. I'm watching right now on Fox. They've got people up protesting at something. I don't know. They can't protest without cussing. I don't understand how. It's not the flies and vinegar, flies and honey situation that they're going for. They're kind of taking a different tactic. We're going to talk a little bit more about that when we return, but we want you to vote in today's YouTube live chat poll. Are in-person protests effective in 2025? Have you seen these protests? When you see a protest, are you like, yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. You should be out there, and I should be out there with you. Are they in favor of the cause? They're effective but against the cause, so kind of like a counterintuitive effect? Or no, they're just not effective anymore. It's just something that people do to waste time or to pass time. You tell us on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. Come give us a vote. We'd love to have you there. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment if you want to as well. We got a lot of comments coming in on this one. And let's say Chris says, poll. I said no. It's just the loud few, and it does nothing to bring more people against their cause, right or wrong. Scooter says lots of examples of successful protests. Vietnam, civil rights. Yes, on the poll. I don't know that those are really current 2025 protests, but maybe I'm not looking in the right place, Scooter. That's always possible. And Jack says, protests don't change minds, just allow participants to feel good. You agree? Let us know on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life.
Stuart's American Mortgage. If you missed it, Stewie in the flesh in studio at 12:25 today to talk about all of this tariff news and everything that's happening with rates. So there's a lot going on, and it does affect the mortgage industry. So much so that you should really get on it right now and call or just text Stewie 314-324-4440 to see about how rates have come down. I've heard of rates in the fives. So he says, if you bought a house in the last 3 years, reach out to Stewie right now and see if you can lock in a lower rate. We had a commenter, Kenny, earlier on the show that commented that he lowered his rate by a whole point, saved him $300 a month on his payment. That is not nothing. And when you use the bagel loan with Stuart's American Mortgage, you get that new mortgage at no cost to you. It's for real. I've done it twice. It's the real deal. The bagel loan means $0 in closing costs on your mortgage. 314-324-4440. The time is now. Get in queue right there with Stewie directly on his phone. 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll free at 888-367-6512.
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yields, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds, glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading regulatory bodies around the world. It helps enable practices that reduce erosion and keep soil healthy, which is good for the earth. Farming's hard, but it's a little easier with glyphosate. Learn more at go.bayer.com/glyphosate, paid for by Bayer.
Just a reminder, we are giving away Little Big Town tickets all this week. So tune in the 2 o'clock hour, probably about an hour from right now, for your first chance to win tickets to see Little Big Town on July 25th at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. Also, our YouTube live chat poll, are in-person protests effective in 2025? Weigh in on that. It is 1:47. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
StuartRosenmblum.com.
The History of the Lou with Sue.
For a fascinating journey through the storied past of St. Louis. Don't miss out on discovering remarkable tales that make our city such a unique place.
The History of the Lou with Sue.
Sundays at 6 p.m. This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
These hands-off protests yesterday were nothing more than a bunch of rich liberals melting down and throwing tantrums because their candidate did not win in November. They can't handle the fact that President Trump won with a decisive mandate. He won every single swing state, the House, the Senate, the popular vote, you name it. And what really confounded me about these hands-off protests, the messaging seemed really inconsistent, right? You had a Palestine flag next to a rainbow flag. Those two usually don't go together. If you're gay in Gaza, you're probably being thrown off of a building. Then they had Tesla signs. They were protesting Elon Musk and Trump. It was all really jumbled. Number one rule of a protest, you guys, make sure your messaging is consistent. And they're also flexing the fact that they got thousands of people to show up in deep blue Chicago to protest Trump. You could get thousands of people to show up in Chicago if you were handing out free popsicles. So if this is what the resistance is like 100 days in, it's going to be a long 4 years for the Democrats.
Link Lauren talking there about these protests that took place this weekend. And I hesitate to talk about the protests so much as an individual, like what was the intent or the purpose of the actual thing that they were protesting against. The poll is more about protests as a whole. Are in-person protests effective in 2025? Going into more of what Link was talking about there, though, like if you get 1,000 people to show up at a protest in Chicago, is that like, wow, you really did it there? If you're showing up just to show that you don't like Donald Trump, we know.
Yeah, I think we've already figured that out. You don't need to tell us again.
So then you have the consistency across the board. When it comes to these protests, when it comes to the Tesla keys and all that stuff that's going on, here are the Missouri Democrats at Mo Dem Party on X. This is the official account of the Democratic Party. It says 2,000 people in St. Louis showed up in the rain to tell President Musk and his punk-ass kids to take their hands off our country. And then it says, tell Republicans to grow a spine and stand up for America. What's the outcome here? When you're doing this and you're trying to tell the people of Missouri, which I looked it up, Donald Trump won Missouri by 18.41%. Democrats, you want to expand your ability in the state of Missouri to make an effect on the people who you're supposed to be advocating for? I don't know if this is the effective way to do it.
I think the clip you played is very apropos because I really don't know exactly what the message is. It's a very broad message. It's we're against this stuff. But I don't know what it is. And that's the trouble with a lot of protests today, since that's the topic of the day, is that, and this happens on the right sometimes too, I'm not saying it's just the left, that when you protest something, let me know exactly what you want to change. That's what I would like to see, because then people can apply, pressure or politics or whatever to the thing. Our little protest that we put together, it was very specific. It was, we don't want to be wearing masks everywhere, especially schools anymore.
Even more specific. We want to choose for ourselves if we wear masks or if we don't wear masks, because we don't care if you wear masks or if you want to wear masks. Good on you for making the decision that you feel is best for you. But we also want to choose for ourselves if we're going to wear the masks or if we don't want to have our children wear the masks because we have health concerns with that. So it wasn't about what everybody does. It's just the freedom to choose what we do. Hands off our body.
If it's against a particular bill or something, that's very, very helpful. You may not get the outcome you want, but you're protesting something tangible. When it's just about, or you're supporting a candidate, that's very real too. When it's just about we don't like Elon Musk, I guess the specific there would be we just want him to not be a part of government or be doing anything. But what is it specifically that you hate that he's doing?
And in America, you have the right to that opinion. You have the right to share. You have the right to share that opinion. But you're in the minority. And if you think that screaming louder is going to change your minority, you're going to have to make sure that whatever you scream louder is going to persuade people. Donald Trump's approval rating is still above 50%. He hasn't plummeted in his approval rating after having implemented a lot of the things that he promised that he would do when he was trying to get people to vote for him, which they did in a popular vote sense, in a 7-for-7 swing vote sense, in an electoral college butt-kicking sense. Donald Trump is doing what he said he would do in the campaign, and people liked it then and they chose it, and people are at least willing to go along with it now and continue to support it. So I wish I would have known. I got to think about this for a second, and it'll come to me, because I was listening to it on Outnumbered on the way in. And no, it was Harris Faulkner, I think, on the way in, the Faulkner Focus. But the person was saying that the Democrats continue to focus in hard on tactics. Like, what if we try a new tactic? What if we try to deliver the message this way? What if we yell louder and this time we say a lot of bad words? What if we incorporate vandalism? What if we incorporate targeting towards people who drive a specific vehicle? And yeah, I understand they're electric vehicles, and some of those people might be some of us, but it's the message that we're sending. And we're sending it, and they should understand it, because we're sending a message to a company that if we make people not want to buy Teslas because they're worried about their cars being vandalized, then all in all, if you drive a Tesla and it gets keyed, then you're really just doing part of your job by not turning that in for whatever particular reason. So the tactics keep changing and the message doesn't. The policy positions don't. They're not interested in advocating for some sort of introspection that might take place after you get your butt handed to you in the November election. Across the board on the national scale, you see the Republicans doing very well in the Senate. In the House, could have done better for certain, but you still are in the minority. You don't have any power and authority anywhere, and your response is to yell louder and throw in some cuss words? Go on with yourself. It's not going to do you any good. And every time I see them double down on this, and really, you saw, or you said earlier, I think was it in Wiggins America, that young people are trying to offset some of the older people, run against primary some of the old farts that are in the Democrat Party. And trust me, the Republican has their old farts too. That they're going to try to young up the Democrat Party. The younger version of the Democrat Party is more progressive than the old farts could have ever imagined it being. And the country repudiated that in the last election. That's not what they are interested in. If Donald Trump falls on his face, do I think that the country is going to go, all right, the Trump thing didn't work very well. Let's go as far left as we possibly can. I don't. So in 2028, it will be what the Republican Party decides to do with the successes and the failures of whatever the Trump administration puts forward. But the left, all they think is we need the left harder and angrier and filthier. And I just keep going, kids, come over here. Kids, let's just walk on this side. Let's just move over here.
We didn't yell loud enough. I'm a little concerned with the choice to be putting swastikas everywhere in America.
Somebody said, I saw this on social media, like maybe the Nazis are the people who keep drawing the swastikas.
They just keep putting swastikas on signs and clothes and cars and etching them into buildings. It's a little concerning.
Super obsessed with the swastika. It's so disrespectful to Nazi Germany and to the history of what that actually is.
To the reality of what that is.
It's so disrespectful to the people who suffered at the hands of a murderous, narcissistic, psychologically disturbed dictator in Adolf Hitler and what he did with the Nazi Party and the Jewish people that were lost in that midst. It's so disrespectful to history for the left to be like, you're a Nazi.
Well, it's amazing because
Shut up! Like, do you even know what that word means? It's a Sicilian.
Yeah, we're just now at the point where that generation has mostly gone on. And now they're not there to speak up and say, wait. You don't realize what this is as much. And so it's just being co-opted.
I saw, was it Brown University today? I'll find out the details when we come back, but the Trump administration has pulled back again on some more university funding that's taking place because they're not defending Jewish people's right to exist on their university platforms and on the campus. Like, I understand the phrase, like, never again is now. Can't you see what's happening? And the people who are using Nazi as a slur against a political party that they don't like don't understand the insult that they're lobbing towards somebody else and the absolute hypocrisy of the direction. You want to talk about fascism? You want to talk about what fascism looks like? You're looking in the wrong corner. You're looking in the wrong place. And it's pretty consistent. It's weird to see so much Nazi history tied to the leftist protests. They're obsessed with it. Let us know what you think. Are in-person protests effective in 2025? Yes, in favor of the cause. Yes, but against the cause, or no? Andy for our YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
We all have different ideas of the perfect retirement, but they all depend on the same thing: not running out of money. And preparing for retirement can sometimes be overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Find out how you could build your retirement on your terms. Join host Steve All for the All Financial Hour Saturday mornings at 6 here on 97.1 FM Talk.
You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
Hey, Max, you look sharp in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world as a guide dog?
You bet, Daisy. And your purple service dog vest really pops against your shiny fur.
First day on the job for both of us. We've got this, right?
You bet. Dogs Inc. trained us well.
Ready to make a difference for our humans?
Born ready.
Discover how extraordinary guide and service dogs change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
A first meeting on tariffs. Lisa Brady, Fox News. Israel's prime minister is at the White House, becoming the first leader to meet with President Trump since new reciprocal tariffs were announced last week. The administration says about 50 countries are ready to talk as Democrats accuse the president of crashing the economy.
Back off, President Trump. What you're doing is ugly. Ugly for New York and ugly for the nation.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer speaking to reporters in New York City, but Texas Republican Congressman Roger Williams tells Fox the president's right about needing to address trade imbalances.
We shouldn't have trade differences with anybody. We're the biggest economy in the world, so we got to fix the trade differences. But I think people are with him. I think 75 million people. This is one of the things he talked about doing.
The stocks have been fluctuating. Right now, the Dow is down 326 points, but the NASDAQ is higher. The U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops just announcing it's ending a half-century partnership with the federal government to serve refugees and children as a legal fight continues over the Trump administration decision to halt funding for refugee resettlement. Catholic agencies had been receiving federal grants to cover many of the expenses for resettling displaced people. The U.S. Supreme Court turns away a challenge of gun limits in New York State, declining to hear a fight over 2022 restrictions, including limits on concealed carry licenses.
6 people appealing a lower court decision, arguing the restrictions infringe on their Second Amendment rights. The law in question includes requiring applicants for concealed carry licenses to show they're of good moral character and complete in-person training. It also creates gun-free zones in areas deemed sensitive, including parks, restaurants, and schools.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin. The new restrictions were adopted after the Supreme Court struck down New York's previous limits on concealed handguns, ruling the Second Amendment protects an individual's right to carry a handgun for self-defense. America is listening to Fox News.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-298-9383. 800-298-9383.
Don't get suckered into the same old free phone game by Big Wireless. There is a better way. Pure Talk, my sponsor, my wireless company, has a better offer. A brand new free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan for $35 a month. You get unlimited talk, unlimited text, 15 gigs of data, all on America's most dependable 5G network. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Pure Talk for your free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan. Pure Talk, wireless by Americans for Americans.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Sunshine in control all afternoon as our days continue to get a little bit longer, but it's on the windy side. Certainly cool for this time of year. 59 for the high. Tonight, clear, cold, a light freeze towards morning. 29-30 for the overnight low. On Tuesday, sunny and cool, 55. Wednesday, clouds move back in. Some showers developing late day and into the night. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Ready for instant curb appeal that comes with a 25-year transferable warranty? Call Rhino Shield today. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, aluminum, steel, cedar, and more. Over the past 20 years, we've done thousands of homes, businesses, churches, schools, condos, parking garages, large metal buildings, and strip malls, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks. We do flat and sloped metal roofs to extend their lives too. Proud to be veteran-owned and manufactured in the good old USA. So we're tariff-free. We're exceeding expectations every day. Evaluations are free. A+ rated with the BBB and a lot of 5-star Google reviews. Call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
One of the things with running is I want to enjoy the run, but I never made it very far because the arches in my feet just killed me. So when I got to the end of my rope and I said I have to do something to get rid of the pain, and a couple people recommended the Good Feet store to me. I loved how I could go in and get a free personalized arch support fitting. They put that time, that work, that effort into helping you find the right arch supports. And you can walk around this store with these in your shoes and try them out before you purchase them. So after I got my arch supports, the arches on my feet stopped hurting and the pain instantly, literally instantly went away. So if you have pain, go. Find a Good Feet store and go. There is an answer. Find the simple solution that will get rid of your pain. I'm Rondi, and that's my Good Feet story.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Visit one of our 2 locations, Creve Coeur and Shiloh, Illinois, and at goodfeet.com.
God, remember when the Queen of Carpet and the Princess of Pile were flying around the arch selling flooring?
Andrea, that was the Queen of Carpet and the Princess of Tile.
Oh, that's right. But we don't need shtick here at Best Buy Flooring.
That's right, because our in-stock selection of carpet, carpet tile, sheet vinyl, laminate, hardwood, luxury vinyl plank, and luxury vinyl tile are already at low, low prices.
Come see us at our 3 area locations, North County, South County, and Metro East. Open 7 days a week.
Plus, free financing on approved credit. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
We haven't forgotten about you, Illinois. Come see us at Ott's Tavern and the Millstop Fish Stand this Friday. It's our final Fish Fry Friday for Lent on The Mark Reardon Show and 97.1 FM Talk. Hope to see you there.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio. I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Still watching and waiting for Donald Trump to start speaking in the Oval Office with Netanyahu. They had a scheduled 1:30 p.m. press conference, and usually when you get those schedules the day before, it's loosely tried to be targeted around that. So we're going to carry that when it starts. We're also asking you about the protests. If you saw, if you participated in, if you were aware of the protests that were scheduled to take place around the country. What was it in Colorado? There was it the Bernie Sanders, what's her face, AOC rally?
The oligarchy.
Had like 30,000 people, and then they mapped the phones, and they've been to like
yes. This was a week or two ago.
Yeah,
right?
this was not part of this weekend. But what do you remember that story?
Yep.
Details?
Yeah, it was. And I don't remember if it was Colorado or not, but wherever it was, they had been geo-tracking all the phones there. Not illegally. This is something you can do legally. They don't know who you are. They just know where the phone's been. And they tracked that these are the same. I think 80% of the people there had been at least 9 other Democrat events in the last 2 months. Like, it's same people.
How many people?
It was about 80% of them had been at least, I remember it was
They're
9 other
protesters.
events. Yes. Well, they have to be. Or they have to be devoting their life to it somehow. So there's got to be some payments somewhere in there. Unless they're just trust fund kids.
Well, probably not. They'd probably vote for Trump then. Let's see. The YouTube poll is, are in-person protests effective in 2025? Yes, in favor of the cause. Yes, but against the cause, or no. Have you ever seen a protest and been repelled by it to action?
Repelled by it?
Seen it and been like, I'm so against that, I'm going to do the thing that is the opposite of what they're protesting.
Gosh. I don't know. I can't think of anything offhand, but that doesn't mean it's never happened.
But you're not in a position where you see something and you want to take action against the protest.
Not that I can remember.
Is it playing right now?
No, they've got it up.
Okay.
So we're getting closer.
Okay, we're gonna have the White House. They've got the feed up, so we're just sitting and sort of tap dancing along the way. Speaking of, I thought of you. Did you eat a peanut butter and jelly this weekend?
Yes.
Gluttonous?
What does that mean? That's just a word with a question mark.
The type of, how did you make it?
Oh,
was it a glutton? Was it
an
act of gluttony?
No, it was not an act of gluttony. The sandwich itself was very loaded, if that's what you're asking. So, can it be just a very, very thick peanut butter and jelly sandwich without it being gluttonous? This is the questions of our time.
That sounds like what a glutton would say, but go on.
I don't think so. I just have to disagree with you on that. You can eat a very thick peanut butter and jelly sandwich and still not be a glutton. Because here's the deal, Annie.
But like if it would become gluttonous if you did it like nightly.
If you did it and you had already eaten a pretty big dinner. And then you're like, you know what? I could use an extra sandwich or two before bed.
Truth. Be honest here. Lie detector test.
Go ahead.
Activated. Have you ever eaten 2 of those, as you call them, thick peanut butter and jelly sandwiches at night?
Lie detector? No. Always one.
Just one.
That's why you load it up.
That's why it's so big. Yeah. Have you ever added a piece of bread, more than 2 pieces of bread?
Oh, gosh. Now you're making it gross. I don't even want to think about that now.
You're going to try that tonight,
terrible.
aren't you?
No. Not going to try that. That sounds awful. I would never do that to my body. It's a temple. But
it's obvious.
That's
how you feel. That's how you live your life.
A temple to what?
I have though eaten a peanut butter jelly sandwich on the wider, like the pan bread. So not the normal size bread.
Pan?
You know, where they bake it in the little wider pan, the little tray.
I think most breads are baked in a pan.
It's a wider pan.
Okay.
This is the big
You
bread.
know, the pan bread.
Pan bread. I don't know what they call it. I think they call it pan
Deep
bread.
dish.
Yeah, deep dish bread. The big bread.
Gluttonous. I call it gluttonous.
I mean, some might say gluttonous.
Is that gluttonous free? Have you ever had a sandwich, white bread, jelly, American cheese, or like a slice of, the sandwich wrapped Kraft?
Wait, did you say white bread, jelly, and cheese?
Just calm yourself down. I'm not even done yet.
Gosh, I don't like the idea of some
white
of these
bread,
things.
grape jelly, but I've used strawberry jelly too. A slice of sandwich, American cheese, whatever, and hard salami.
Oh, that sounds awful.
It's the best thing ever.
Oh, man.
No,
I haven't had it for a long time.
Hold on.
If I bring it in and make it for you, will you try it?
Yeah, I'll try it. But here's what I don't like about the way this sounds.
So good.
Is you'd bite into this. This is what would happen. Tell me this doesn't happen. You'd bite into this thing, and immediately the bite wouldn't go all the way through the salami, and
What's
you'd
your
suck
dental
that
situation?
thing right off.
Do you have bad teeth?
Super strong jaw.
You
Never
just
locks.
gums.
Do they line up, though?
I think so. I mean, I don't have like a tremendous
Are you capable
underbite.
of biting things like
You'd
sandwiches?
have to really sit there and like tear at that salami to get it to bite. I think you'd pull that salami right off that sandwich. I don't like it.
I think you should see a dentist, and then I'll make you a Sammy.
I know a dentist. His name is Ty.
Yeah, I know.
And he would tell me the same thing. I guarantee if I call him right now, he'd be like, what in the world? Why would you eat salami on a jelly sandwich? He'd say that.
Cheese and jelly.
You know what, though? Whenever you make those little smokies or meatballs, don't they put jelly in some of those recipes, too? So
That's fine. That's a sauce.
But I could see that working on a sandwich. Like, I was like, ooh, jelly and cheese. And then she said salami, and I was like, well, wait a minute. That might work. I don't know.
I don't
I'd be
need
super
y'all
excited.
to be like, it might work. It freaking works. I wish that we had a place. Schnucks is pretty close, but I can't get to there in time. I bet you I can get to Ruler Foods and get you a loaf of bread, a package of hard salami, and some take it out of the wrapper American cheese.
You're assuming that you cannot run that fast if you can't make it to Schnucks and back in the next break.
I get 3 minutes.
You got 3 minutes.
I get 3 to 4 minutes, and people are like, all they ever do is play commercials. I'm like, the girl's got to pee sometimes.
And go to Schnucks.
And Schnucks.
To get all the ingredients of a
to make Ryan a
salami
sandwich.
jelly cheese sandwich.
Kathy says salami and grape jelly is the bomb, no cheese. I'm curious to see how many, if anybody is. It's, okay. I was just going to say it's a German thing, and then Scooter's still talking about Nazi Germany, so I wanted to not conflate the two things.
Yeah, you don't want to get those intermixed.
Yes. Ron says, yes, jelly with salami is a German thing. Yeah, for sure.
Jelly with salami. Okay. I'm not opposed. It's the cheese that changes it. That just sounds bad.
That's what makes it.
Plus the consistency. I'm telling you, I don't understand it. My brain is haywire over eating the salami off that jelly sandwich.
Just have to really intent on taking a bite.
You got to tear at it. You get to like a dog. By the way, yesterday I almost took a picture of a package and sent it to you guys and said, "Is it dog food?" Because I could not tell.
Didn't know where that was going for a while.
I could not tell whether this was actual human jerky or dog food.
What'd you do? Buy it and taste it? And
I did
see?
not. I would not do that now.
You didn't take a picture?
I didn't take a picture.
I don't believe that happened. You're making it up.
I had something in my hands.
Were you in the Deerberg's for sale aisle?
No, I don't remember where I was. I think I might have been in Dollar General. No, I wasn't, because it was like a super high-end health food.
Henry says you have to try a small, and I don't like this word, smear. Small bit of jelly with mayo and sharp cheddar on rye.
I'm getting texts from people that I think, let me look back and see. This person has not texted me for the last time was 2023 that I got a text from this person. And he says, it's an awesome sandwich. Try it.
That's right. That's my best friend. What's his name?
His name's Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark. Mark, when you text me, maybe next time go on my side.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
Ryan, long time no see. Eat that sandwich.
I mean, yeah, maybe a little formality wouldn't hurt either, but be on my side next time.
I'm happy that I can bring your friendships back together with my suggestions.
I will try it if you make it. I'm not going to go buy it, though.
All right. It's very hard to figure out a better way to do this, but they're talking in the White House right now, so we're going to
I think
segue
we've accomplished everything we need to.
into that. President Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu in the White House discussing who knows what. Let's listen in and hear what they have to say from the White House.
But we appreciate you being here, and we are a friend of Israel, as you know. I would say that I'm by far the best president that Israel has ever even thought of seeing. And it's an honor to be so, and to be so thought of. Many friends in Israel. They are not in an easy area. It doesn't go easy, but we are helping them. And likewise, they've been helping us very much. And so we'll see how it all works out. But we had great discussions today, I think, on the obvious subject of Iran, and also the less obvious subject with respect to Israel, and that's trade. And I think the Prime Minister is going to tell you a little bit about trade and what they're doing for the United States. So I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you very much. And
thank you.
Benjamin, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Don. Thank you. Mr. President, I want to first thank you for inviting me again to the White House. You've been a remarkable friend of the State of Israel. You stand by us. You're standing with us. You are a great, great champion of our alliance. And you actually do the things that you say you do. And I think that people respect that enormously. I certainly do, and the people of Israel do. And I think the Jewish people do as well. We just saw your representative in the Department of Justice fighting anti-Semitism, standing up for Israel in international forums. I just want you to know from the heart, it's deeply, deeply appreciated. As you said, we had the opportunity to talk today about many subjects. First, if I can mention tariffs, it's a subject of some interest today. I can tell you that I said to the President a very simple thing. We will eliminate the trade deficit with the United States. We intend to do it very quickly. We think it's the right thing to do. And we're going to also eliminate trade barriers, a variety of trade barriers that have been put up unnecessarily. And I think Israel can serve as a model for many countries who ought to do the same. I recognize the position of the United States. It says, we're allowing other countries to put tariffs on us, but we don't put tariffs on them. And, I'm a free trade champion, and free trade has to be fair trade. And I think that's basically the position that you have put forward, Mr. President. We are going to eliminate the tariffs, and rapidly. I had the opportunity to speak to Secretary Lutnick yesterday. We talked about how we could effect this quickly, and I hope to bring a solution very quickly. We're not talking about intentions. We're not talking about just words. We're talking about results. And those results are going to come in. So that's the first.
Thank you very much. It's very nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. President, what about the hostages deal?
Well,
let him finish.
Let him finish. Okay. Even begin. Okay. We spoke about not only the hostages, but about Gaza. The hostages obviously is a human story of just unbearable agony. I speak to the families. I spoke to them yesterday. I spoke to another one when I was in Hungary before I came here. I speak to them every day. They're in agony. The hostages are in agony. And we want to get them all out. Steve Witkoff, who was President Trump's very able representative, helped us get a deal that got 25 out. We're working now on another deal that we hope will succeed. And we're committed to getting all the hostages out, but also eliminating the evil tyranny of Hamas in Gaza and enabling the people of Gaza to freely make a choice to go wherever they want. I mean, they should have that choice. And the President put forward a vision, a bold vision, which we discussed as well, including the countries that might be amenable and are amenable to accepting Palestinians of their free choice if they choose to go there. And I think that's the second thing that we discussed. But the hostages came right on top. We also discussed the situation in Syria. We've had neighborly relations with Turkey that have deteriorated, and we don't want to see Syria being used by anyone, including Turkey, as a base for attack in Israel. Turkey is a country that has a great relationship with the United States. The President has a relationship with the leader of Turkey. We discussed how we can avoid this conflict in a variety of ways, and I think we can't have a better interlocutor than the President of the United States for this purpose. And of course, we also discussed Iran. Look, we're both united in the goal that Iran does not ever get nuclear weapons. If it can be done diplomatically in a full way, the way it was done in Libya, I think that would be a good thing. But whatever happens, we have to make sure that Iran does not have nuclear weapons. That's the end of my speech.
Mr. President,
we're having direct talks with. Wait a minute. Wait. We're having direct talks with Iran, and they've started. It'll go on Saturday. We have a very big meeting, and we'll see what can happen. And I think everybody agrees that doing a deal would be preferable to doing the obvious. and the obvious is not something that I want to be involved with, or frankly, that Israel wants to be involved with if they can avoid it. So we're going to see if we can avoid it. But it's getting to be very dangerous territory. And hopefully those talks will be successful. And I think it would be in Iran's best interest if they are successful. We hope that's going to happen. And we had just a lot of good talks on a lot of things. I appreciate very much what you said about the tariffs. We've been ripped off and taken advantage of by many countries over the years, and can't do it anymore. Just can't do it anymore. We can't be the stupid people anymore. And it's all because of the people that sat in the seat right here. Not your seat, but this seat. They allowed things to happen to our country that they shouldn't have allowed to happen on trade and other things, many other things. I mean, look at what's happened with our last president, where he allowed millions of people to come into our country with an open border. Who would want an open border? How stupid is that? But he allowed millions and millions of people, and of the millions, and I think it was 21 million people, but let's say 3 of them were serious criminals, serious murderers and drug dealers and gang members and people from jails. All the jails emptied out right into our country, right along the open border on Mexico, generally the Mexico. Okay. They came in from Canada too, by the way, a lot. But generally speaking, on the southern border. And what a shame it is that we are now working very hard to get them out, get the criminals out, get the murderers out, the drug dealers, the mentally insane, get them out. They dropped the mentally insane in our country too. And this was all done by the Biden administration. It's a disgrace that we have to work so hard. And then we have judges that try and protect these people, but they didn't protect us when the people were being let in. But to get them out is never easy with these people. So I think we're doing a great job. The border is the best it's ever been. It's even as strong as it was. I had a great, solid border. I think it might even be tougher right now and stronger. So people are coming into our country, but they're coming in legally. We have a legal process, and we have that moving along properly, because we need people to come into our country. But we want people that can love our country and cherish our country. So that's where we are. And with that, any questions? Well, we're not looking at that. We have many, many countries that are coming to negotiate deals with us, and they're going to be fair deals. And in certain cases, they're going to be paying substantial tariffs. There'll be fair deals. As you know, I spoke this morning with the Prime Minister of Japan, and we had a very good conversation. They're coming. And I said, one thing, you're going to have to open up your country, because we sold no cars, like 0 cars in Japan, and they sold millions of cars into our country. They don't really take our agriculture, a little bit of it just to keep us slightly happy, but they don't take what they're supposed to be taking. So we have a great relationship with Japan. We're going to keep it that way, but they're coming in to meet, and other countries are coming in. With China, as you know, against my statement, they put a 34% tariff on above what their ridiculous tariffs were already. And I said, if that tariff isn't removed by tomorrow at 12 o'clock, we're putting a 50% tariff on above the tariffs that we put on. So they've gone for years. They've become a rich country because of people, again, that were in the White House that allowed this to happen. Hundreds of billions of dollars a year they'd make on us on trade, and it shouldn't be that way. And I have a great relationship with President Xi. I hope it's going to stay that way. I have great respect for China. But they can't do this with just, we're going to have one shot at this, and no other president's going to do this, what I'm doing. And I'll tell you what, it's an honor to do it, because we have been just destroyed, what they've done to our system. You know, we have $36 trillion of debt for a reason. And the reason is that people allowed it to get that way. So we'll be talking to China. We'll be talking to a lot of different countries. And I think, you know, if we can make a really fair deal and a good deal for the United States, not a good deal for others. This is America first. It's now America first. And we didn't put America first. We put America last. The people that were in the Oval Office put America last, and we're not going to stand for it. Yeah. Go ahead.
Who's going to represent the U.S. in the talks with
Go ahead.
expect any of these deals to be made before April 9th? And secondly, there have been some mixed messages from your administration. You're talking about negotiations, and yet others in your administration are saying that these tariffs are actually permanent. What is that?
Well, it could be. They can both be true. There can be permanent tariffs, and there can also be negotiations, because there are things that we need beyond tariffs. We need open borders. You know, we almost had a deal with China where we're going to open up China. It was almost done. Some of you remember it during my first term, and it was very disappointing. We ended up making a great deal. $50 billion worth of product was sold. $50 billion. You'd like that in Israel. And I made that deal, but it wasn't the deal that I wanted. It was the deal that I wanted was that, plus they were going to open up China so that our companies could go into China and compete with other countries and China for for a large number of people. And at the very end, that deal was terminated, and we went to a piece of the deal. And there are a lot of things outside of tariffs, but tariffs are very important. But there are a lot of things like opening up countries that were totally closed. China's essentially a closed country. In fact, it is a closed country. And what they do is they charge tariffs so that if you sell cars or if you sell anything, nobody's going to buy it because the price is out of control. But that's true with a lot of other countries also. So we're going to get fair deals and good deals with every country, and if we don't, we're going to have nothing to do with them. They're not going to be allowed to participate in the United States.
Mr. President,
Hold it. Just relax. We have time. This gentleman is all day long.
Mr. President, many of thank you.
Go ahead.
So you've been listening to the press conference taking place in the White House right now. President Donald Trump sitting next to Benjamin Netanyahu. It looks like it came back up there, Brad. Let's leave it going if it's still there. We had a little hitch in the technology. They actually pulled it down and said resuming shortly. Right after President Trump said we have all day. That's kind of interesting to see that. I'm going to pull it up here on mine. But listening to President Trump talk about, you guys were talking, Ryan, you were talking about how he won't commit to whether or not it's going to be permanent or not permanent. And I mean, it's not surprising to me when you consider that he wants to have every option on the table in order to negotiate through this process. He's not going to say, oh, these are most definitely permanent. That takes away his negotiating power. He's not going to say, oh, these aren't permanent. They just need to give the right deal, because that takes away negotiating power. Is it back?
Nobody's been able to do.
All right, let's listen in.
Really hit them hard, and it's every night after night, and we've gotten many of their leaders and their experts. They're experts on missiles. I mean, they actually make missiles. Nobody thought that, but they make missiles. They're highly sophisticated, and they're very tough, but they've been very badly damaged. Nobody else was able to do that but us. Pete, you want to discuss that, please?
Yes, sir. It's been a bad 3 weeks for the Houthis, and it's about to get worse. It's been a devastating campaign, whether it's underground facilities, weapons manufacturing, bunkers, troops in the open, air defense assets. We are not going to relent. And it's only to get more unrelenting until the Houthis declare they will stop shooting at our ships. And we've been very clear at the Iranians as well. They should not continue to provide support to the Houthis, and that message has been made very clear. So we have a lot more options and a lot more pressure to apply, and we know, because we see the reports, how devastating this campaign has been in them, and we will not relent.
We have a great military. There's no military like our military. And despite Biden having given a lot, but nevertheless a pretty small piece, but it was a lot of our military away in Afghanistan, and one of the dumbest situations, I think, and maybe the most embarrassing situation we've ever been involved in, that short period of time in Afghanistan. What a disgrace that was. But left a lot of our military behind. Left. You see them in their annual parades, where they're parading trucks that are armor plated and different things that they can't. But it's many billions of dollars we left behind. But despite that, we have a tremendous military. That was a very small portion, because we rebuilt the military during my first term, and we have great things happening with our military. We also essentially approved a budget which is in the facility, you'll like to hear this, of $1 trillion, $1 trillion, and nobody's seen anything like it. We have to build our military, and we're very cost conscious, but the military is something that we have to build, and we have to be strong because you got a lot of bad forces out there now. So we're going to be approving a budget, and I'm proud to say, actually, the biggest one we've ever done for the military. We're cutting other things that were under DOGE, but under a lot of other. When you look at a woman getting $2 billion for environmental, and it had nothing to do with environmental, and they had $100 in the bank, and they give her $2 billion. Many of those cases, all that stuff is going to be cut out. But we are getting a very, very powerful military. We have things under order now, the likes of which we've never had before. We've never had the kind of aircraft, the kind of missiles, anything that we have ordered. And it's in many ways too bad that we have to do it, because hopefully we're not going to have to use it. But the military is very, very powerful, and it's going to remain that way. Yes, Queen?
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to ask you about Iran, because this is the first time we hear that the U.S. is having a direct contact with the Iranians. Is it possible to give us some more information at what level the U.S. is?
High level, very high level, yeah. We're dealing with the Iranians. We have a very big meeting on Saturday, and we're dealing with them directly. You know, a lot of people say, oh, maybe you're going through surrogates, or you're not dealing directly, you're dealing through other countries. No, we're dealing with them directly, and maybe a deal is going to be made. That would be great. It'll be really great for Iran, I can tell you that. But hopefully, we're not going to have to get into that. We are meeting very importantly on Saturday at almost the highest level, and we'll see how it works out. Please.
How do you ensure, Mr. President, that these tariffs don't drive U.S. trading partners into the hands of the Chinese?
I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. If they want to be in the hands of the U.S., they don't want to be in the hands of the Chinese. And the Chinese have turned out to be really not very good at that. People that are with us, they're with us. But we cannot be taken advantage of any longer. I used to watch these deals for years. I've been talking about it for years. You know, I've been talking about it for 35 years, how our country is being ripped off. I mean, 30 years ago it was Japan, then it was something else, then it was another group, then it was China. China's doing the best job of it, frankly. And it's just not going to happen. Not going to happen.
The EU has said that they have offered 0 for 0 tariffs on cars and industrial goods. Is that not enough?
Well, the EU, no, it's not. The EU has been very tough over the years. I always say it was formed to really do damage to the United States in trade. That's the reason it was formed. It was formed with all of the countries from Europe, I guess most of them, not all of them, but most of them. And they formed together to create a little bit of a monopoly situation, to create a unified force against the United States for trade. So they have NATO, which is largely the same countries, and they took advantage of us dollar-wise and militarily until I got there. You know, I was able to get $600 billion from NATO, where they paid NATO because most of these nations weren't even paying. We were paying for NATO, so we're paying them to guard them militarily, and they're screwing us on trade. So that's not a good combination. So now it's really turned around. It's the opposite, and the European Union's been very bad to us. They don't take our cars, like Japan in that sense. They don't take our agricultural product. They don't take anything practically. And yet they send millions of cars in a year, Mercedes-Benz, Volkswagen, BMWs. They're sending millions and millions of cars into the U.S., but we don't have a car that's been sold to the European Union or other places, but let's go for the European Union. And it's not going to be that way. It's got to be fair and reciprocal. It's got to be fair. It's not fair. We have a deficit with the European Union of $350 billion. And it's going to disappear fast. And one of the reasons and one of the ways that can disappear easily and quickly is they're going to have to buy our energy from us because they need it. They're going to have to buy it from us. They can buy it. We can knock off $350 billion in 1 week. They have to buy and commit to buy a like amount of energy. And we have that. You know, we have more energy than any country in the world. I don't know if you know that. He knows everything. But the one thing he may not know, we have more energy than any country in the world. We have more of every kind of energy, every form of energy, from oil and gas to coal. And people talk about, I call it beautiful, clean coal. As you know, Germany is opening up a coal plant a week. They tried the windmills and it didn't work. They tried all the other solutions and they were ready to go out of business. Now they're doing a coal plant a week. China is now up to 2 coal plants. They're opening 2 major coal plants every single week in China, all over China. And then we're not allowed to use coal. Well, we have clean, beautiful coal more than anybody else. We have oil and gas more than anybody else. We have the most energy of any country in the world, including Saudi Arabia, including everybody, by a lot. And I took it to number 1. We were number 3, and I took it to number 1 during my administration. And the reason that we were hurt so badly and the reason that we went into such incredible inflation during Biden is energy. It was also their bad spending, but energy, because they played around with this incredible thing that we had built, this administration had built, and the energy costs went through the roof. And when that went up, everything else followed. Now, if you look at what's happening, you're going to see this today. I said we're going to try and get groceries down, right? An old-fashioned term, but a beautiful term. Eggs. So when I got in, the press went absolutely crazy the first week. They said, eggs have quadrupled in price. I said, I just got here. Tell me about it. And Brooke Rollins and our team did a great job, and eggs are down now 79%, and they're all over the place. And this was a problem that somebody else would have taken a long time to cure. We have energy is down. We have interest rates are down. We have groceries, meaning food is down. We have everything is down at levels that nobody ever thought possible. Energy looks like it's going to be in the $2.50 a gallon range, and maybe below that for a car. So for gasoline. So we're really doing amazing. I mean, we're cutting prices because prices got so high, people couldn't live. I mean, the prices for groceries, the prices for standard groceries, standard things were going through the roof. They couldn't live. And now those prices are coming down. So call them groceries, but that's down, energy's down, and interest rates are down. Everything's down. And the interest rates, the beauty there is when we refinance debt, you know, debt's become such a big factor in this country. We're going to start paying debt off with tariffs and other things. But it's such a big factor because the interest rate's so high. Well, now that's coming way down. So our budget's going to look a lot better because interest costs are way down. And I guess I've done that. Okay.
Many Israelis are watching you now on live show.
Good.
What is your specific
I hope they like
way
me.
of getting the hostages out from the horrific captivity?
Yeah, we are trying very hard to get the hostages out. We're looking at another ceasefire. We'll see what happens. But we want to get the hostages out. The Israeli people want the hostages out more than anything. They want the hostages out. This man is working very hard with us to do that. I mean, I don't know. I hope he's being appreciated because he's been a great leader. He's working very, very hard on the hostages and many other things. And there are plenty of things you have to work on. It's a tough place in the world, isn't it?
I have a good partner.
Yeah, you do have a good partner, and so do we. We're working very hard on the hostages.
If you're going to negotiate a new deal with Iran, can you elaborate how it's going to be more effective than the JCPOA?
Well, I can't really say that, but I think it'll be different and maybe a lot stronger. But they were so happy when we made that first deal because we did get a lot out. You know, I had people right in this office, this beautiful Oval Office. They came in, 10 people, hostages, you know that. And I said to them, so how was it? And the stories they told me, I mean, as an example, I said to them, was there any sign of love? You were there, 10 people. It's only 10, but it's pretty representative. Did the Hamas show any signs of, like, help or liking you? Did they wink at you? Did they give you a piece of bread extra? Did they give you a meal on the side, like, you know, you think of doing? like what happened in Germany, what happened elsewhere. People would try and help people that were in unbelievable distress. They said no. I said, all of them. I said, did they ever wink at you like, you'll be okay? You're going to be okay? No, they didn't do that. They'd slap us. The hatred is unbelievable. And the lives, you know, they lived in a pipe, not really a tunnel, it was a pipe. And they always thought they were suffocating, they were going to suffocate. And then they'd open up the pipe, and it was like 3.5 feet high. This isn't, you know, we hear tunnels bad, but pipes are worse. And the stories I heard were incredible. But I just said, was there any sign of potential love or affection? And there were none whatsoever. It was amazing to me. There was nothing like, here, take this, it's a little extra meal or something. They lived like hell. I don't know. They seemed to be, they were amazing to me because they seemed to be pretty normal. They weren't scarred, but I guarantee underneath they have to be scarred. And one was there for 356 days. Another was there for about 180 days, you know, a long time. These are people that have been really, really horribly treated. I've never seen anything like it, actually. I was very surprised to hear the answer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Are there 2 or 3 countries that are on your list that you feel are farther along in getting their tariffs lowered?
I think there are many that want to get rid of tariffs right now. European Union, I mean, as badly as they've treated us, they've brought their car tariffs essentially off. I guess they brought it down to 2.5, and I hear maybe to nothing. But it's not only tariffs, it's non-monetary tariffs. It's tariffs where they put things on that make it impossible for you to sell a car. It's not a money thing. They make it so difficult, the standards and the tests. They drop a bowling ball on the top of your car from 20 feet up in the air, and if there's a little dent, they say, no, I'm sorry, your car doesn't qualify. When the same car from Germany or anything would dent likewise. Unless you can have an army tank, it's going to dent. So they come up with rules and regulations that are just designed for one reason, that you can't sell your product in those countries. And we're not going to let that happen. Those are called non-monetary barriers. They make barriers that are so tough that it's impossible to qualify. So tariffs are a big part of it, but there's another big part of it, and that's barriers. They also do something else. They manipulate their currency, and they drive it down. They want to have low currencies. You know, it sounds better to have a high currency, a strong dollar or whatever, but they bring their currency down, and when it competes with our currency, it's very hard to sell a tractor. It's very hard to sell product because their currency is low and ours is much higher relatively. And so it makes it very hard. I speak to a lot of companies that do business, tractor companies, and they say it's so hard to sell because what they've done is they've lowered the yen or they've lowered the yuan or they've lowered their currency so that it's very hard to compete. We don't want that either. So we have a lot of things that we're talking about, but we're going to fix it properly, and it's going to be fair to everybody. And in the end, I think we're going to have a world that does a lot better, you know. But they have to respect the United States. And nobody but me would do this. Nobody but me would do this. You know, it would be nice to serve, a nice, easy term. But we have an opportunity to change the fabric of our country. We have an opportunity to reset the table on trade. We lose billions of dollars. We lose close to $2 trillion a year on trade. We lose $1 trillion a year to China. $1 trillion. We lose hundreds of billions of dollars a year on trade to China. We lose hundreds of billions of dollars overall, probably close to $2 trillion. Why would we do that? Number one, why would we do that? And then you have to say, is it sustainable? Then you hear about all of the people that say, well, deficits. If we have a deficit with the country, or if the country has a big surplus with us, like China has a massive surplus, that they take and they spend on their military. Well, we don't want that. I don't want them to take $500, $600 billion a year and spend it on their military. I don't want them spending money on their military. And I shouldn't have to spend money. We shouldn't have to spend it either. Because, you know, hopefully, and I said this to President Xi, hopefully it's money that we're never going to use. In other words, because we're not going to use those incredible weapons that we have and that they have. We don't want that. So it's going to be very interesting. It's the only chance our country will have to reset the table, because no other president would be willing to do what I'm doing or to even go through it. Now, I don't mind going through it because I see a beautiful picture at the end, but we are making tremendous progress with a lot of countries, and the countries that really took advantage of us are now saying, please negotiate. You know why? Because they're getting beaten badly because of what's happening. They're getting beaten badly. They're being devalued as countries. But it's the only chance we're going to have to reset the table on trade. And when we do, we're going to come out unbelievably well. We're going to have a strong country economically again. And we're going to have those factories that are empty all over the United States. We've lost 90,000 plants and factories. Think of this, 90,000, you wouldn't think it's possible, 90,000 plants and factories since NAFTA, which was, by the way, the worst trade deal ever developed, ever had by any country anywhere, NAFTA. And I terminated NAFTA. Everybody said it would be impossible. And I terminated it through Congress. We terminated it. You had to get it through Congress. It was a trap. It was a horrible thing. And we got it done.
So President Trump speaking from the White House, and I was listening to him talk there and kind of reading the comments through the YouTube chat as they were coming through, and I can't help but think of The Biggest Loser, and by The Biggest Loser I mean the show. Do you remember when The Biggest Loser was a really big deal?
Yeah.
Did you ever watch it?
Not much.
Did you, Brad?
No, I didn't watch it much.
I loved that show. I didn't start watching it until it had been pretty successful. But at the beginning of the show, you'd have these people who are so morbidly obese, super overweight, lots of conditions, diabetes, on all this type of medication. And my personal favorite, Jillian Michaels, who one day will be on the show, that I can't wait for that to happen one day. She would specifically, I always cheer for her. She would take these people who had been living so poorly as far as their health goes, but oftentimes for reasons that were understandable. They had a lot of explanations, but not many good excuses. And I always determine the difference between the explanation and the excuse. And you'd watch these people come in and try to get on the treadmill, and they couldn't walk hardly at all. They couldn't move, they couldn't function, but they had to go through what Jillian Michaels would put them through. And by the end of the show, they would drop over 50% of their weight. They would be healthy once again. It's not a perfect analogy, but I'm just thinking of all of the pain and suffering you would watch these people go through. The first thing that they had to do to be successful in their weight loss was face the truth. The first thing that they had to do, was sign up and say, all right, I'm going to do the hard thing to get better here. I'm going to go through the hard stuff to get better. But when they got there, they had to really face the music on the things that had gotten them to the place where it was so out of control. And once they would do that, they were able to succeed. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have the results of today's YouTube live chat poll. Have you voted yet? Are in-person protests effective in 2025? Yes, in favor of the cause. Yes, but against the cause. Or no. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Don't go away.
I hear you say, look up, child.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
I want to talk to you about making your dream deck affordable. It is possible. And when you reach out to Artistic Decks and talk to the amazing people over there, you get your free design and consultation taking place. You'll be working at Artistic Decks with people who have been in the business for over 20 years. These are experts. These are folks that have a long list of beautiful examples of work that they've done in the area, and they're insured, of course. They specialize in that customizable kind of beautiful deck that's going to become the envy of the neighborhood. And all I need you to do to start that conversation and for you to secure your spot on their summer schedule, yes, if you reach out to Artistic Decks today, you can enjoy the deck they're going to build at your home this summer. That's pretty fantastic. 314-280-0821. 314-280-0821. A small down payment gets you on the schedule, and you can talk to them about how you want your deck to fit on your home, the different types of opportunities that you have in materials. They use the very best materials. Call Artistic Decks, 314-280-0821. artisticdecks.net.
Some people follow the rules, but where's the fun in that? I'm Saraya, and this is Rule Breakers, the podcast where we celebrate the rebels, the risk takers, and the ones who make their own way. Every week, I sit down with the boldest voices in sports, entertainment, and beyond to talk about breaking barriers, defying expectations, and rewriting the rules. No limits, no apologies, just real talk. Follow and listen to Rule Breakers with Saraya, an Odyssey podcast available now for free on the Odyssey app and wherever you get your podcasts.
Would you like to see Little Big Town July 25th at the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater? If so, we have a pair of free tickets to give you right now if you are caller number 9. Here's the phone number, 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797. Be the 9th caller. You will get a pair of tickets July 25th to see Little Big Town. It is 2:53. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Appreciate you being here with us. Still thinking about that peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Oh, I want to eat one now. Yeah, I wasn't even in the mood until you started talking about peanut butter and jelly and all that bread and, the ingredients that make up a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And now it is on my mind.
You're going to try tomorrow if I bring it in. Peanut butter. No, forget the peanut butter. I have peanut butter in the office. Not the peanut butter. White bread, American cheese, grape jelly, hard salami.
Yeah, I'm going to try it if you make
Will
it.
you be honest and say you like it if you like it?
Yeah, I'll be honest.
Okay.
Will you be honest and admit that it's going to be hard for me to bite through that salami without the whole thing just sliding off the sandwich?
I am going to not agree with you, and I don't think it's dishonest.
It is dishonest if you disagree with me.
Fine, whatever. YouTube live chat poll. Are in-person protests effective in 2025? Brad, your thoughts on this one? You got 3 options. Yes, in favor of the cause. Yes, but against the cause. Or no, they're not effective.
I think if anything, they hurt the cause, especially like the ones we saw over the weekends where it's just people getting loud and yelling and inconveniencing people. And there's no solid message to it other than, we're mad about Elon Musk or whatever it was. They didn't have a solid focus message. And I think that just hurts the cause because it turns other people off.
What do you think, Ryan?
I'm actually a yes to both of these. Yes in favor and yes, but against the cause. But if I had to choose,
you think it's not ineffective?
No, I think it's effective. I do. I think that the main way they're effective, though, is the average person who may kind of lean that way sees, there's a lot of other people who believe that. And it kind of emboldens them. That's the way I would think that it would be the most effective.
I kind of feel like we are protested out. I feel like, on the whole, very little. I mean, protesting to me is kind of all one big group. It doesn't matter.
Protester people.
It's like there are those who do and there are those who don't. There aren't very many people who see it and go, well, that really opened my mind. If you think about standing outside of a, did you say 5750?
57, yeah.
If you think about standing outside of a Planned Parenthood, I mean, I stood outside and prayed outside of the Hope Clinic in Granite City. I was at a 40 Days for Life. Is that what it's called? I spoke outside of the Hope Clinic out there. And I mean, that's a protest. Seems to me like protests, in my mind, kind of default file away to like angry yelling people with signs. But there are a lot of protests that can take place that aren't angry yelling people with signs.
Yeah.
Am I wrong that that's like a political lean thing? I feel like
Well, you have to be really, really sold out for a cause, depending on what it is, to be of the protester class. And that doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means you have to be.
we've done it.
You have to be all in on it, and that's the people who are going to show up for the protest.
But you can choose your attitude. You can
Yeah, you
choose
don't
if
have
you
to be
want it
angry.
to be angry and filthy language and stuff, or if you just want to make it kind of a fun party, a collective party to get together to do things. I'm sure that both versions, I mean, I've definitely seen both sides be publicly angry.
I love
So-
protesting, like on a big yacht in the middle of summer, just having a good time.
I don't think that's protesting.
That to me, that's a great protest.
All right, the results, 447 votes today. 8% of you say they help in favor of the cause, just 8%. 12% say yes, but against the cause, and 81% of you are like, protesting is not effective in 2025. 81%, think about that. Mark Reardon Show, pick it up where we leave off next.
We, without hesitation, recommend that anybody work with ThrottleNet. The experience will be as good as it's been for us, for anybody, because you'll get a true partnership and you'll be able to rest easy that you're going to get the service that you need while they're also doing all those things that you don't want to have to think about, that you don't want to have to worry about. They're always doing that in the background for you.
Don't wait for your next IT crisis. If your business depends on technology, you need a partner that's got your back. Contact ThrottleNet.com to get a free IT evaluation and see how we can support your IT everything.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is donating a bag of food to Open Door Animal Sanctuary for every AC clean and check performed in April. To schedule your AC check, visit aircomfortservice.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you. Guys, it's time to take charge of your health with my friends at Victory Men's Health. Mark Cox here. I already love what they do at Victory. They do hormone optimization, sexual health, weight loss, even vitamin deficiencies. Now they're offering specialty cardiovascular testing and even early detection cancer screening. Visit them at one of their 4 great locations, now in Sunset Hills, Town and Country, O'Fallon, Missouri, and O'Fallon, Illinois. Tell them Mark Cox